Hey everybody, welcome in.
Hi guys.
We're being and blending and journeying. Actually, Alexis, will you grab that Flower of Life frame drum? I forgot to bring that over.
Sure.
We are going to have some fun today. We truly are. There are no Deepak books left.
Oh yeah, those are gone.
I do want to let you know that we are trying to work out the kinks, but we were hoping to have, let me lower the blinds a little bit. We were hoping to have Afterpay ready for memberships, and right now it's not working. So, but I do want to talk to you briefly about your memberships before we get started, and then I'll remind you at the end of class tonight too, because there's a few kind of just order of business things that Alexis and I need to cover, because our new programs start in like 2 weeks. And so if maybe you don't know, some of you don't know, right? You haven't been here in a minute. Our brand new program is called Living Magic. If you go to sagegoddess.com/Living Magic, you can learn all about it. And if you're already in Soul Shift right now, your membership is going to roll over into Living Magic, because we're not raising the fees. It actually is an act of God for us not to raise your program fees next year, because our costs have gone up so much. But we knew a lot of you may not be able to continue if we raise the fees, and we just didn't want to do that. We wanted you to be able to continue if you could. Now, we are also doing the annual membership, which saves you 2 full months. So just like this year in Soul Shift, it's $100 a month. Next year in Living Magic, it's $100 a month. But if you sign up, you only have until the 31st of December to do that. If you sign up for the whole year in advance, you save 2 months. So instead of it being $1,200, it's $1,000. Okay? You can use Zip for that, and you can use PayPal credit for that. So Afterpay is working on the website. It just isn't working for memberships right now. Mm-hmm. So yes, Emily Butler, if you go and you shop at sagegoddess.com, you can totally use Afterpay now. It may or may not be able to be a solution for memberships. Does that make sense? So I just want to make sure I'm clear about that. We're working on it. But the annual membership is an option. And even if you were a monthly member this year, you can change to annual for next year. So if you're like, I'm all in, I want to save $200, it's an incredible value, I will tell you, as somebody who takes classes myself, to get 48 classes plus bonus sessions and other counsel for $1,000 is really cool. Even my therapist, who's a very affordable therapist, is still $150 an hour.
Yes.
So
and that's pretty good.
And honestly, that's what she's been charging for 10 years.
Wow.
She just hasn't raised her fees. So anyway, I'm just telling you, it's the best deal on the block. I'm not saying I'm a therapist, but it is a really great, affordable program. Next year we will have to raise prices, but we just didn't raise prices this year because we wanted it to stay affordable for you.
And this year we barely
raised them. And I'm hoping next year we'll barely raise them. If you want your tools for classes, you only have about a week left to sign up for tools. It's so crazy. So, it's the black kyanite ring, and I'll show you all the tools at the end of class tonight. And I don't have any jewelry on. I've started to put my jewelry back on. I've had 4 hours of MRIs in the last week from my MS, so I'm slowly putting my necklaces and my bracelets. I don't have any rings on today. They're still in the safe.
Are you done?
I'm done for a year.
That's good.
I am.
Yay!
I'm done. 4 hours of MRI, or 8, 4 hours of MRIs in 7 days is more than enough for anyone.
Cheers to you being done.
Cheers to me being done. Anyway, I just want to make sure you know that we hope you can continue in programs. We're bringing you, and by the way, so in January for your $100, you get Living Astrology with me and Tara. You get Practicing Magic, which is going to be the most incredible class about your brain and your mindset and how you shape your reality. It's a new take on the law of attraction. Then you get a whole session on clearing stones in your Crystalpedia class, and right? You get your sound healing class where we're going to talk about bells and tinctures and how we use sound to open and create sacred space. And you get a 2-hour bonus session with me and Deepak Chopra. For $100, it's fucking insane. I will just tell you. I'm not tooting my own horn. It's just like there's nowhere else on the planet you could get that. Literally, my fingers are in a lot of pies. There's nowhere else in the planet you could get live with Deepak and 8 hours of classes and for $100. It just doesn't happen. So, but please be sure that your membership is active. Don't cancel it. It will automatically roll over. If you want to change from your monthly subscription to your annual, in February, you're getting a 2-hour bonus class with my tarot teacher from 30 years ago called the Tarot of Love on February 13th. So that's a bonus class, 2 hours that you're going to get next month. And that's in addition to, again, Living Astrology and Crystalpedia, and you're practicing magic and your sound healing, and you're getting certified in all these things. So anyway, I want to encourage you to stay in programs. We would love to have you. And we're trying to keep it as affordable as we can because we know it's difficult. I know.
It's going to be such a good year.
I do want to toot my horn a little bit just because sometimes I think people think we're, you know, sometimes if things are affordable, you think they're not valuable, but we're affordable and valuable. We're not, even though we're affordable, I still think we're bringing you some of the best education there is online. So,
Joanne, if you want to use Zip on your annual membership, we added a pay now option to the drop down on sagegoddess.com/livingmagic. So if you want to use Zip, you do have to choose the pay now option. Now, you will have to pay your first installment right now, but the rest of it will get spread out over the 4 weeks.
that's right.
Yeah.
6 weeks.
Yeah, 6 weeks.
Yeah, so Zip is a great option. I know. Well, thanks, you guys. Yeah, and you guys are going to be getting little sneak peeks of my book that's coming. There's all kinds of you guys are the only ones in Living Magic that are getting all the full behind the scenes of Tucson.
Mm-hmm.
Crystalpedia will get a little bit, but Living Magic is going to be where all of the behind the scenes interviews and conversations and dinner chats and all those things. We're planning kind of we're thinking about a morning thing called Gemosas, where we have mimosas and talk about stones, and that'll
So
be in the
cute.
Living Magic Facebook group. So anyway, I hope I'm tempting you to stay.
Yeah.
I'm going to ring my bell.
Ring my bell.
That's really good.
Yeah, look at us. We make a good team.
We do. No, she sings. I don't sing, and I really like it when she sings. I'm always like, go for it, Alexis.
I like it when you sing too.
It's usually horrible.
Give you some space for your teachings.
I know. Tucson's going to be really great this year because some of my favorite peeps who weren't there last year are going to be there this year. So
I'm excited, and we just came. I mean, it feels like we just came from Denver,
I know.
honestly. But not everybody is at Denver. You
No.
know? So we're gonna see people that we haven't seen in a really long time.
I miss my peoples.
Me too.
I miss my peeps. So anyway, I'm really excited for all that is coming. So, being in blending tonight. So I really want to dig into our tools a little bit tonight. And I want to say this. So my intention tonight is to drop it down. Okay. And one of the ways I drop in and drop down in my practice, a lot of you have asked that over the years. When things are challenging and when I need to come into present time, what do? I go to the whole concept of you are here, right? I get into my body. And when I go to you are here, what you are here means for me right now is that this is a holy week. I want to take a breath there. It's a holy week. Sunday was the first night of Hanukkah, right, which is the festival of lights and a celebration of freedom. Tonight is called the Night of the Mother, right? There's a whole theory. I don't think we've ever actually talked about it. It's only been a couple of friends of mine who've chatted about this, but I'm going to share it with you. There's a whole theory about what this week was like for Mary. Makes me emotional. Before the birth of Christ. And I don't know that it's based in any reality, you know what I mean? I don't know if it's like, well, what book should I read or whatever. I don't have that for you. But there's this theory that that Mary knew that next Sunday she was going to change history.
Mm-hmm.
That when she gave birth to that child, that she said yes to during the Annunciation. Have we talked about this? I just want to make sure. And one of the things one of the reasons I'm starting here is it makes a difference to me. So I hope it'll make a difference to you, because my kids are half Jewish, right? And Sophia Code is interesting too, right? A little different than what I'm talking about, but kind of still gives you that perspective. So my kids are half Jewish, so the tradition of Hanukkah and the lighting of the candles each night resonates with me, and then the tradition of Christmas resonates with me in the birth of Christ, right? And then the tradition of Yule. Tomorrow night is the longest night of the year where I live, right? Yeah, Lori, I don't think we're too concerned with Jesus' sun sign. I don't think he was a Capricorn. I love that, though. But sort of back to center, Yule is very important to me because it is the longest night of the year. And it is the deepest darkness, and yet it's an invitation, right? It's an invitation to drop in, right? To connect with where light sits for you. Like, where is it in your life? And by the way, just if you're new to class, I don't so much answer questions in the first half. I answer questions in the second half and during readings, which we'll be doing today. So if you ask a question in the feed, Karen and Alexis are here. That's kind of part of why they're here, is to make sure that they can respond to you in the feed. But I will, if you have any direct questions, right, I will be able to respond to you during the second half of class, which it would be my pleasure. So, but it's nice to focus on the camera and just do a little teaching and give you a journey experience. And we also have perfume blending tonight, so we have a lot to do. So, yeah, and we can talk about what the oldest holidays are. That's also probably a conversation for another time. It's not a competition, people will say, well, Yule's older than Hanukkah, and Hanukkah's older than Christmas, or Christmas is older than Hanukkah, or Christmas is older than Yule. I don't think any of them were the first. So I'm like someone who likes to break out of the box and tell you, I think Yule is new. And I think Yule predates the Christian and Hebrew traditions. And I still think, for me, it goes way, way beyond and before Yule. I think Yule is beautiful, but I think it's a new baby holiday. I think paganism is new. I think everything's new. There were times before these times when, and I guess I'll go back to kind of the beginning of the beginning. There was a time when this planet was not divided into masculine and feminine and light and dark and God and goddess and all of these things. There was a time before that. No, Bodhi was not lost. Thank you all for your concern, though. He was quickly found.
He was off somewhere playing with his ball, I'm sure.
He was. Yeah. So thank you for that. There was a time before division, before separation, before the binaries. And I long for those times. I really do, because we were part of the one source, right? The one source is both masculine and feminine. The one source is both light and dark. The one source is the one source. Don't you think? And so when we talk about Yule, we talk about the longest night of the year, we talk about solstice, we talk about the longest day of the year, whatever, I still kind of take a breath. It's like, what is that? That's division. That's separation from the one source. And so I want to also pull you tonight, I guess, in our exercise. And I would invite you too, like, if it feels good to you, maybe take a break from the feed just for the next hour. Because if you really can drop into what I'm saying and sharing, I think your journey will be deeper. You know what I mean? It's like, come into the full experience. I don't know how to. I've always tried to figure out how to shut off the feed, move it all the way off my screen, and I don't because I'm your teacher, but maybe you can, or just put your camera full screen. We only journey once a month, and this is our last journey of Soul Shift for 2022, and it's our last journey of Soul Shift of this program forever. Have you thought about that? You know, sometimes in life there's a sadness in not knowing when things are the last thing. But this is our last together, and I really want you to go all in. Now, I know some people really love to chat, and I will not judge you. Like, if you keep chatting, seriously, some people, that helps them drop in. But if you need to really go within tonight, at this darkest time of year, and on our last chance together to really go into a deeper place and a deeper state, I just want to invite you in to do that. If that resonates with you, and if that makes sense to you, I think that would be a really beautiful opportunity. So I'm going to burn a little sage, and I'm going to continue what I was saying. One of the things I've noticed about spirituality is people like to brag. I'm a 200-hour yoga teacher. Oh, really? I'm a 400-hour yoga teacher. Oh, well, well, I'm a shaman. Well, I don't know. I'm a priestess. Oh, I'm ordained. Well, I'm ordained by the blah blah of the blah blah. Ooh, wow, I'm not that or whatever. I'm ordained by the hoo-ha of the wah-wah, right? The hoo-ha of the wah-wah. No, but there is this kind of like competition. And what I would say to you is when we go back to the one source, to the one frequency, to the center point, none of us is better. I don't know anything better than you do. I may have been doing certain things longer than you, or I may be on a camera longer than you, or whatever. I don't know, different than you or whatever, but it doesn't make me better than you. It just makes me having a different experience. And we didn't used to compare and contrast because there was no right, wrong, in, out, up, down, hoo-ha, right? There was none of that. And I honestly think if there is a source creator, which I believe in, that source creator would laugh and go, oh, you're a hoo-ha and a wah-wah. Like, that's so cool, you know? Like, wait, what's a hoo-ha and a wah-wah? I don't think that it would matter, right? So I want you tonight to not think so much about any of it. Think about it and not it at the same time. Right, wrong, in, out, up, down, Mary, Joseph. She was a virgin. How'd she have a baby? Wise men came and brought some shit. Now, I will say, I do think the wise man piece of Christmas is the most interesting piece. And if my mom was sitting here, which she's not, but she probably is. She's probably right here, and she's probably going, yeah, go ahead and tell them the story. Every time, my mom collected nativities, and every time she got a nativity set, I have my favorite of hers, which I have not been able to set up since she died, but I hope next year I will be able to. I always grab the wise men first. I was like, baby Jesus, Mother Mary, Joseph, barn, animals, wise men. And I would put like the do and the do and the do right in front of me. And I'm like, this one's holding a little jar, and this one has a, doodad in his hand. And I loved the wise men. And it was always the first thing that I grabbed out of her nativity sets. And actually, the one that I chose to keep after she died is the one that had it was the Costco nativity, because the wise men were not white, and that's actually true to history. They also have the prettiest little bowls that they're holding, and I am a sucker for packaging. But I'm sharing this with you because I was always drawn to the magi, the magic. The magi were the shaman, right? The magi did not know what's happening. They did not know what was happening. By all accounts that I've read on every whatever book, teacher, what the Magi saw was a star in the sky that they hadn't seen before, shining in a way they hadn't seen before. If you went outside tonight, where do you live? If you went outside tonight, I'll tell you, if this happened to me, I'd be getting a jar of shit and following the star, okay? If you went outside tonight and there was a star in the sky the size of Texas. Texas is one of the biggest states in the United States. If you're not in the U.S., it's just a big-ass state. Texas. If there was a star in the sky the size of Texas tonight, which has never happened to you before, would you follow it? You'd be like, first of all, you'd be on like texting, are you seeing this like Texas-sized star? And I'm like, yeah, I am too. Well, maybe it's moving. Why don't we grab some myrrh and some frankincense and some gold? Because I think we should probably follow it. And then it'd be on TikTok, and then it'd be on Instagram, people's stories. I'm following the star. Anybody else following the star? We'd all be on Snap with our Snap locations and stuff. We would have technology to figure this out now. They didn't have that. They looked up in the sky, they saw a big-ass star, and they started to follow it. And they felt a calling to bring something with them. And something guided them to frankincense, to myrrh, and to gold. If you look back, right? Well, and I don't know Ariana. I mean, Ariana's saying the Magi didn't actually show up for 2 years, not at his birth. We know though, that they followed the Syrian star. Whether he was 2 years old or 2 days old, to me is not the bigger story. We know they followed Sirius, because Sirius showed up in the sky larger than it had ever been. And they followed it with gifts. And something in them said frankincense. Something in them said myrrh. Something in them said gold. What is that? Gold would have kept him able to move and create safety and structure. Frankincense and myrrh are antibacterial, antimicrobial, and antifungal. Would have kept him healthy. If there was something to follow and you wanted to bring something of value and something of healing, you would have brought frankincense, myrrh, and gold, because it may have been the only 3 things you had access to at the time. Does that make sense? Why am I sharing this with you? Not to convince you of anything and not to convert you to any narrative, because that's not my business. But what is my business is, I think there is magic. I think that there are magi. I think there are people who are paying attention right now. I think there are people who are awake. And I think there are people who are, even in the darkest of nights, looking up the night sky and looking at the stars and following the stars. If you've been listening to me for the last month, if you've been in class, you've been hearing about me wrapping myself in blankets and going and watching the stars at night, because they're changing. And we have meteoroid showers that we haven't had, and we've got all these other things happening. And every night I'm outside, it's freezing cold here in LA, like it's in the 30s, which is really cold for us here in LA, but I'm still looking up and going, I feel like a magi. Like, what star am I supposed to be following? The patterns, the constellations are shifting. So I'm sharing all of this with you to set the stage for tonight's journey. Nobody has to be right and nobody has to be wrong for everybody to be on their path. I don't know what those magi saw, but something moved them to follow a light and to carry these things, and I don't think they knew where they were going or why. On these amazing evenings of Hanukkah, when we light these candles, these are sacred reminders, right, of light in the darkness. Tomorrow with Yule, right, is a chance to remember that even on the longest night, Ostara is stirring, right? The animals are hibernating, but they won't forever. The seeds underneath the soil that are absolutely frozen above them will still produce trees and flowers and incredible growth in just a couple of months, right? Everything that seems barren and frozen and impossible right now has a glimmer of possibility. How do we connect to that? And I was reading this morning that it's colder in the United States right now, this week, than it's ever been. Did you see those reports this morning?
Really? No, I didn't.
0 degrees in Indiana and Ohio. 0 degrees right now on Christmas Day. My friends in Austin, Texas, record lows. My friends in North and South Carolina, record lows. I've never been this cold in Southern California, myself personally. For it to get to 39 on the coast where I live it's shocking. It just doesn't happen. My dad told me last night, in his life living here, and he's been here since he was 17, and that was 1957, it's never been this cold. And my dad records it in his own writing. He records the temperatures. He said since 1957 it's never been this cold here. So I'm just sharing with you, we are in the depths of this harsh freeze and this intense cold. And what does it do for us? What does it mean for us? For me, what that freezing means is it's an invitation to go even deeper inside. even deeper, right? Even deeper. When you're freezing, it's almost like I always think of like freezing embryos or something, right? Like you're protecting something so it can grow later, right? You're putting a layer over something so that you can prevent additional damage. You're slowing everything down. When my mom was dying, they put a wrap on her to lower her body temperature to protect her brain. When we freeze things, we want to protect the most gentle, beautiful core parts of things. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Because freezing things actually protects them, and it maintains them so that when the temperature is warm and it thaws, it can grow. I'm such an old Greek lady. When I buy bread, I buy 2 loaves, and I put one in the freezer and one outside. Why do I do that? So I don't have to buy another loaf, because as soon as the kids eat that loaf, I take the one out of the freezer. Now we have 2 loaves. Mm-hmm. Like if I see things on sale, when we freeze things, it keeps them fresh, so that I take that loaf out of the freezer and it's like, boom, we've got fresh bread again, right within a couple of hours. Does that make sense? It's time to go quiet. It's time to go within. So, how does this look in your body? Don't let me forget the tryptophan and the blend too.
Yeah, right here for you.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Okay.
Actually, I haven't smelled this yet.
Oh. 6 months ago, I designed it.
Can I put some on?
Uh-huh.
You designed it 6 months
Mhm.
ago? Oh my gosh. They're like, what are they talking
There's it's called Living Scent Ritual Preparation Oil in the shop today.
You guys, it's amazing. Oh, it's
Brooklyn and I designed this in June.
the scent completely changed on me. Or like it brought
Yeah,
out.
it got sweeter on you.
Oh,
It's been sitting. The formula's been
good.
sitting, and so we finally brought it to you. Anyway, I'll talk about that at the end of class. It's pretty magic. Okay.
I'm gonna buy it.
So
this is good.
I want to talk to you about brainwaves. So let me have that with or she'll show it to you, and I can talk you.
You want to show it?
Yeah. Did you get it?
If you got it, it's good. Congratulations.
Okay, so we talked about for tonight's journey. I'll tell you more about it later, Amanda. It's pretty incredible. Alexis has the notes, and we can go through it. But for now, because I want to journey with you, stay where we are, right? These are your brain waves. So your brain waves are very important. Your brain waves are measured in hertz, okay, which is the Hz. And hertz is the number of cycles per minute. Okay? Number of cycles of your brain waves. So if you are like you and I are right now, we're in class and like we're looking at the feed and you're holding a worksheet and like we're thinking about things, our brain is moving about 14 to 30 cycles per minute. Okay,
right
or per second. Which means so in 1,000, we're going right? Up to 30. When we're stressed, we're in a meeting and somebody's saying, you did a piece of shit job on that, and wow, it's horrible, or like, I hate this, or why did you do this, or in a meeting, or you're at the airport and you're late, and they're saying you're going to miss your flight. Yeah, you are at a straight up 30. I can't even, I mean, imagine, like 30, 1,000, like 30, right? So there's a connection, by the way. And by the way, we will get to perfume. Nicole, just stay with me for a second because I want to explain this, because I want you to infuse your perfume tonight with this wisdom, if that's okay. So just stay with me, Nicole. There's always a method to my madness. So alpha is the next stage down, okay, which is you're starting to relax. You're not in delta, which is like liminal state, like almost asleep, right? And delta often is sleep. It's the early stages of sleep. Like you just fall asleep. But you're kind of chill, right? So instead of going 14 to 30 cycles per second, you're going 9 to 13. You're like, right? It's not bad. I mean, it's not, it's not super high, but it's not super relaxed. You're still moving. You can focus on something, but you're also kind of thinking about what you're going to make for dinner. That for me is alpha. I'm here in the meeting, but I'm also thinking I'd love to have fries from Burger King. Okay.
Or egg rolls.
Or egg rolls from whatever. So delta now. Delta is, there is not a lot of thinking going on. Okay. So it is 4 to 8 hertz. Right? I mean, it literally is like the universe going, all right, now we're chill, now we're relaxed, you're having you're having a hard time keeping your eyes open, you're having trouble like staying focused on the movie, right? Your husband or your partner's watching a show and you're like, woom, 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 woom. Your pillow feels so good, you've had too many Cheetos, right?
Your eyes are getting heavy.
Your eyes are getting heavy. Okay. Under theta, you go into other states. Now, gamma is actually above. So under theta, you go into lower states of consciousness, which actually take you down to delta, again, which is below the 4 hertz, right? So let me show you this real quick because we have a little bit out of order, but it's correct information. So the highest state where I want to try to take you tonight a little bit is gamma. After gamma, it's beta, which is 14 to 30. Alpha is 9 to 13 under that, and then it's theta and delta. Okay, I'm going to rewrite it just really quickly, because for me, if I don't see things in order, it will confuse me. So gamma is 30 and above.
So gamma should be at the top.
Yeah, gamma should be at the top. And then, beta underneath that. And we're playing with these tonight to see if we can get, and then alpha, which is 9 to 13. And I think we have an old graphic in your classroom which might have this too for you. So if this seems a little confusing, I think there is an older graphic from the beginning of the month as well that you can take a look at. And then delta. Now, there are people who say that there are stages above and below this, okay? That there are stages above 30 cycles per second. Here's what I'm going to tell you. I think if you're 30 cycles above per second, you're not human. Okay? Because that level of frequency increase would take you out of your body. To me, this is high levels of astral projection. Okay? Above 30 cycles per second. Think about what that would mean. So, I'm gonna try to drum as fast as I can, just to experience this for a second. I can't even do the 1/1000. I was gonna get us a big alarm clock with like second measurements, but like just think in your mind 1/1000.
That was hard.
I can't do it.
I tried to do it, but it made like my chest hurt.
And my fingers hurt, right? You can't do it, okay? But you can do, sorry about that, I've got my Living Magic posters and stuff over
Do you
here.
need some help?
No, I got it. Okay, you can do, think 1/1000. These are all delta. You're falling asleep, right? I think the most I can do is 4. I mean, so theta is easy too, right? Think 1/1000. That's theta. So your waking state is still, like, if you think about, like, why am I anxious? What does she need? What does he need? Did I get that call back? Where's that email? I didn't see that. Sorry, I didn't respond to that on time. Oh my God, traffic. There's people making a right turn. What do I do here? I need Burger King. I'm really hungry. I wish I had fries. I should have gone to the grocery store. And we wonder why we're anxious.
I'm over here looking at her like, it's stressing me out just listening.
Does this make sense though?
It does.
So how do you get to gamma? So gamma is not so much sound. I'm going to do my best to lead you in with sound today. Gamma is energy. Gamma is, what we're going to try to do today is connect to the highest possible frequency of energy we can to see how fast we can spin, right? How fast, and I should back this up too. You are a toroidal field, right? We've talked about this before. I've shown you 1,000 graphics. They're in your classroom. If you've been with me this year, we've posted like 100 different images, or you can search toroidal field too. Google is a great ally for you here, TOROIDAL. But your energy field like vooms like a donut, like vroom, 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 right? And when you're in your waking state, it's moving really quickly, and then when you're in those lower vibrational states, it's moving very slowly. This is also why, by the way, when you're sad, you gain weight. Have you noticed that? Because your vibration slows. And when you're in love, you lose weight. Because your vibration increases, right? So everything is governed by the vibration. Your energy level, your metabolism, your heart rate, your circulation, right? Like when you're sad, it's just like this. And when you're happy, it's like you eat a slice of pizza and it's like you didn't eat anything, right? So that is what we're talking about. And so tonight what we're going to do is visualize that toroidal field, and I'm going to drum you as quickly as I can, and then you're going to do the rest of it on your own through visualization. And part of it is I've trained you this whole year to cultivate your psychic, intuitive, and inner knowing gifts. I've taught you everything I know this year. Literally, starting in January. Everything I know about seeing clearly and hearing clearly and feeling clearly, about connecting to land, right, and your own personal space. And I've taught you about what it means to touch objects and to work with sound and work with all of these frequencies. I've taught you this the whole year. Tonight, for your pre-graduation, you're going to use your gifts to raise the frequency. Because here's what I'm going to tell you. You know what the ultimate graduation, the reason I don't do tests in my classes is because tests are bullshit. Tests are things that people study for to get a grade or a certificate so they can move on with their life and say they finished something. And I say that as somebody who gave tests for 20 years. They're all kinds of bullshit. My kids are studying for them right now. All they're doing is memorizing facts so they can spit them out and get their grade and move on, right? The real test of this year, how I will know that you graduated, is when you are all alone. And you are facing a challenge. And there's no one and there's no thing that's going to help you, support you, because the universe is testing you. It has taken everything out of the field and said, how do you know? What do you know? What are you going to do now? In those moments, I don't need to test you. That's going to be you, because there will be moments in your life where you're like, I'm going to have to trust my clairvoyance. What did Athena tell me about that again? I'm going to have to trust my clairaudience. What did she tell me about that again? What did she teach me about? You're going to have to remember these lessons. That is the test. There's no test I can give you that's really going to say you've graduated until you get to those moments. And my grandmother told me this when I was a teenager, and I didn't understand. It took me being a grown-up to really understand that the test comes when you are with you, and you have to increase the frequency and expand the awareness and and develop the spin and move the toroidal field and release what isn't serving you and see clearly what's in front of you and trust your peripheral vision. That is exactly when you will know whether this class was useful for you or not. And it's lovely to be able to tell you that as a teacher. I can give you an A. What are you going to do when you're alone? But it's not just your life, it's everybody's life right now. Everybody I know is being tested. I don't know anybody in my personal life who isn't being tested right now. Like, really pushed. And if you step forward and go, I'm going to use what I know, the universe will go, okay, you passed. And you move through it more quickly versus, oh God, why is this happening to me? Or remember what you have learned, young Jedi. The Force is strong with you. You remember Luke never had Yoda. Mm-hmm. Luke never had Obi-Wan in the main moments.
Yeah,
remember?
Always him.
And he would call on them, and they would kind of appear as like a little. Like an apparition almost, right?
Yeah,
like, remember
like
you, the Force is strong with you, or and then it would disappear, right?
Yeah.
Yoda didn't come in and go, mic drop, I got this, back up, slay the dragon. I mean, Yoda did once in a while, but it was at the absolute final moment when nothing else. And God does that for you too, or Goddess, or Yoda, or whoever you believe in. They do come in at the final moment. But yeah, no, Obi-Wan and Yoda did not come to Luke at those moments. Luke had to use the Force and had to recall in those moments and stand in that power. And it's dumb to use like Star Wars references, maybe.
It's not dumb.
But at the same time, you have a lightsaber. You better bust it the fuck out.
Mm. The same thing with Frodo too.
Frodo, yeah. I mean, Gandalf came in. What was my favorite line from Gandalf is, God, I'm going to forget it now. At the turning of the tide. I come at the turning of the tide.
Mm-hmm.
But he didn't show up before that.
No.
And just and Dracarys, right? Like we all were screaming Dracarys during Mother of the Dragon, or like Gandalf going, "Where's Shadowfax?" Like, you Shadowfax, break Gandalf or whatever. But Gandalf wasn't going to come in and save the day, right? So, in the hero's journey, Lori C., there is no archetype for Yoda, but in the hero's journey, the hero starts innocent at the top of the wheel. And I'm going to talk about this in Living Magic, by the way, so stay tuned. The hero starts at the top of the wheel innocent of the ways of the Force. But there's something in the hero, Lori, that says, I need to find out what's true. So the hero starts on a quest and leaves everything the hero knows, leaves it all behind, leaves his parents, right? Remember Luke leaving his parents? Mm-hmm. Na, 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 right? And he's like walking out. Leaves everything he knows. And now he's in the dark forest, like Dante talks about in the Inferno. And then in the dark forest, he's out in the middle of fucking nowhere, and who does he find? A very young, dashing Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Young, dashing.
What an interesting character, right? Who knew? Except because it's the hero's journey. And by the way, I had the pleasure of meeting and talking with George Lucas when I was at the University of Southern California, because he named the film school.
It's so cool.
And I got to go to lectures with him. He was one of our guest speakers. I'm very lucky. And George Lucas credits Joseph Campbell with Star Wars. George Lucas and Joseph Campbell were friends. And it was Joseph Campbell's hero's journey that actually prompted George Lucas to come up with the whole cycle. So I've had an amazing life. I'm very, very grateful for all the chances I've had to talk to these incredible people. And George Lucas is very humble. He's just like, he said during the lecture, like, if you look at any of the major stories, like even of your life, it's the same thing. You leave your parents' house. I'm going to figure out my own path. And then you find a mentor. And you think, oh, I'm so lucky I found a mentor. And then shit hits the fucking fan at the bottom of the wheel. And you're like, well, thank God I have my mentor. Right? Like, help me, Obi-Wan. Right? Help me, right? And even Leia, like, help us, Obi-Wan, you're our only hope. Or help us, R2-D2 and C-3PO and everything. Like, you've got your mentors, right? And then there's Gandalf arrives at the turning of the tide, right, for Aragorn. And he starts to make his ascent toward king, right? Or Luke Skywalker finally handles the dilemma of being the son of Darth Vader and starts to make the turn toward the light, right? And so this all becomes that turning of the tide. And at the top of the circle, what happens, according to George and Joseph, is you go back to the beginning, but you're different. You have to be different. Now you know Darth Vader's your dad, right? Now you know that there's a ring of power and it can kill everything, right? Like, you're not just fucking Frodo in the Shire. You're not just, right? You're not just Luke Skywalker with his two parents sitting out in the middle of whatever that was called with the two moons, right? You are a Jedi. You are this. And mine and I appreciate that. Like, I've got on my own hero's journey, right? Like, I'm going to figure out who I am. Oh, you're going to go blind. Oh, but then you're going to have these spirit teachers who come in and teach you that your blindness was an initiation. Oh, and your initiation is going to lead you to Star Sage Goddess. And now you're going to help other people see that their blindness is also their initiation, and you're going to help them find the light. I mean, mine is like a super small, shitty Star Wars.
It's not a shitty Star Wars.
Well, but I mean, like, here's Star Wars and here's mine, but we all have our hero's journey, right?
It's like the Hallmark Channel Star Wars.
It's the Hallmark Channel Star Wars that isn't on the Hallmark Channel, right? It's like micro Star Wars. But you're having your own Star Wars, is my point to you with all of this. And it's a beautiful end of the year conversation. And Cindy's like, spoiler alert if you haven't watched Star Wars yet. Listen to me right now. If you haven't watched Star Wars yet, I'm not the spoiler alert.
Yeah, I'm not.
There's about 30 years of spoiler alerts now, Cindy Dotson. That was not my job today.
We're not taking responsibility for that. If you haven't watched Star Wars yet, that's all.
You deserve to be alert spoiled. Okay. Anyway. Now, let us blend perfume.
Generic Hallmark Star Wars. No, you're too like.
No, seriously.
Your movie is too. What's the word? It's not like. It's not clean enough to be a Hallmark movie.
It's not clean enough. There's a lot of profanity.
Yeah.
My story is X-rated. My story is not for, young audiences or whatever. You've been warned. But if you know what I'm going to tell you, though? If you haven't seen Star Wars yet, watch it this weekend. I will tell you this. I've seen it 100 times.
Mm-hmm.
All of them 100 times. I saw them in 1978. I stood in line.
I think that's so cool.
Which is really crazy, with my brother right down here at Old Town Mall, where Home Goods is.
Really?
That was the theater.
Wow.
Where I watched Star Wars with my brother.
I think that's so cool.
So, how many years ago was that? 40? Yeah,
43.
Yeah. So, if I'm still get a lift out of it, you should too. It never loses its effect, Star Wars, on me. So, I hope you will watch it, even if you've seen it 1,000 times. Okay, so Prophetic Dreaming Mist. What we're doing tonight. I'm really excited about this because I have 2 drams, by the way, but I don't have 3. I have the camphor and I have the wormwood.
I think it is only 2 drams.
Oh, because the valerian is in the incense.
Let me double check. Yeah, I'll do a quick check right now.
No, I think you're right.
I'll still check.
So we talked a lot about valerian root this month, and I do want to tell you, I thought there was oil in the perfume too, but it is in the incense. So if you wanted to try a lot of you were talking about not being able to sleep. And there's valerian in here. And it doesn't smell like valerian. It doesn't smell like feet. So if you inhale
Valerian's
it...
in there
Oh, the
already.
valerian is in there.
Yeah,
Alright.
it's
Oh,
in there.
there is. Yeah, chamomile and blue tansy.
Yeah,
valerian.
so it's already in the liquid in the bottle.
So, but I will tell you, if you inhale the smoke of this, you're going to get a more direct hit of valerian than if you use the perfume. So if you want to, try working with valerian before sleep, because it really is a sedative, what I recommend you do is use the incense. And I believe there's mako in this one, right?
Let me double check that too.
I'm pretty sure there's mako.
Is
Not a lot, but a little bit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to light my... we do have a charcoal... Oh, we don't have a charcoal disc. But I think there, like I said, I think there is mako in
I
here.
have charcoal discs for you.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, sorry.
Can I
thought there
try
was
lighting
one.
it without and just see? Because I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure she put it in here.
I don't see Mako in the. Oh yeah, Mako powder.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That's what I thought. So yeah, it does. It wouldn't do this if it didn't. So you can just put a little bit of your incense in the bottom of your burner and light it, and it will smoke on its own. And then if it's right before bed, not if you're going to be driving, or again, it's going to drop you into a deeper state of meditation, but a little inhale there isn't going to hurt you. It's good for dreaming. But because there's mako in there, which is an incendiary agent, you don't have to light charcoal, which is really cool.
It's so cool.
Yeah. And I love these burners. But just make sure it's on a heat-proof surface, because this gets really hot. You don't want to be touching that. You don't want to find out the hard way that it gets hot. So we have it on our Flower of Life, little plate. But whatever you have that's heat-proof would be perfect for it. Smells good, right? Yeah, and there's other things in there too. Like I said, the chamomile is going to help relax you. The blue tansy is in there too. So all the good things. Now, that's Divine Dreams. The prophetic dreaming mist is valerian root, chamomile, and blue tansy. We put enough blue tansy in there that it kind of, you don't smell the valerian. The color of it is natural, and that's because of the blue tansy and the blue chamomile. So there's just a little bit of the valerian for the energy of it, but not enough, because some people don't like the smell of it. Now, if you want to turbocharge this, you don't have to do this, but if you want to, you can add your wormwood. Let me explain wormwood. Wormwood's botanical name is Artemisia absinthium. The root of absinthium is absinthe. This is the green fairy. I grow it. A lot of you grow it. People smoke it. They drink it as tea. I make wormwood tea. It just takes the edge off. It's not a controlled substance. It's not going to make you loopy. It's just a little bit. Yeah, valerian is always the root. That's true. So, if you want to turbocharge this, you don't have to. You can add, and I'm going to pour the whole thing in. But, I'm a Leo with a Sag moon. If you tell me I can turbocharge something, I'm going to add every flipping drop of it.
I can see the oil mixing in from over here. It looks so cool.
Yeah, it is doing this kind of little dance. Smells good. Isn't wormwood tea lovely? Yes. Now, camphor is up to you. Camphor is really important because it does three things, okay? It clears pain, but it also clears blockages. So it actually literally clears sinus blockages. So if you inhale this right now, I've been a little stuffy. My kids are congested, so it will actually clear your sinus passages. It clears your energy field, and it clears the muscles and the toxins from your body.
Yeah, I sniff it.
So yeah, sniff it and see what you think. You don't have to use it again, but it does clear. What it does is it clears your mind of all the shit of the day.
But it's nice. That's nice. I like that. I like
It's
that
just like,
smell.
oh. And so it helps with astral travel and projection, because it gets you out of your, whatever happened this morning or this afternoon or what's bothering you. Mm-hmm. Yes, absinthe is made from wormwood. That's what I was telling you. This is Artemisia absinthium.
information.
So I put the whole farking barking thing in there. You don't have to. It is a free world.
Farking barking.
Farking.
Oh, it looks so pretty.
Look how pretty
All
it
the
is.
swirlies. It looks like one of those little potion bottles we made this year.
And the bottle is like kind of a aura-y, you know what I mean? So it has all the, so. And it smells really good. Here, you take that. That smells really good. Isn't that yummy? Is it the valerian that's throwing you off? She can smell valerian a mile away. You know what?
No, it's good. Oh, smell it with the ritual preparation.
Okay,
oil.
that's sexy, actually.
It smells.
Okay.
It smells good.
Okay, she's coming around. She's coming
Yeah.
around, everybody.
I put the ritual preparation oil on my arm earlier, and the two of those together, I did not do that on purpose, but that's nice.
I'm gonna convince her one way or the other.
No, I like it.
Okay.
I like it on you, and yeah.
Now, if you want to do the Athena way, you take a little bit while it's really, really wet. And you stick it up your nose.
This is why you're not a Hallmark movie. I'm just kidding.
Sorry. There's other ways you can do that, but this is the one that's made for TV, so. Okay.
It smells nice. I do like it.
Listen, you may not love, by the way, this will not leave my bedside, and then when I'm done, I'm going to be like, no, I don't just want the thing, I want the thing with the thing. I got to add the wormwood, and I got to add the camphor.
I just can't get over how pretty it is.
The bottle is really
It's
pretty.
very pretty with the bluish green color through it. And what I will say is, even for me, and I know some people are more sensitive to smells and everything, but for me, if it's a working blend, I'll still work with it whether I like to smell it or not. You know what I mean? Because I'm working with it for the properties. Now, I wouldn't put valerian on to go on a date with David. You know what I mean? But like if I'm getting ready to go to bed or something, yeah. But
Yeah.
this actually, it does smell good. Once
I
it's
really
fully
like it on
blended
you
and
with the
everything,
anointing.
with the ritual.
Yeah.
I just like to look at it. It's pretty.
Breezy wants to see the bottle closer up, so Alexis
Yeah,
can
let me
show
show
it.
you guys up close. It's a good idea.
Okay, and then we're gonna journey. I can't
Look at, isn't that so pretty?
Isn't
And
gorgeous?
you can see like the blue through.
No, I love valerian smell. You are not the only one.
It's pretty.
You are not. That should be like a dating criteria. Like if you go on a date and you're like, hey, so I'm gonna go back to my place. Hey, so hold on, I'm gonna put on my valerian.
It's just let me slip into something more
I'm just gonna
comfortable.
Slip into something a little more sedative. And you come back and you're all valerianed up, and the person's like, you're like, then you got to go.
I'd wear Sacra and Morgana on a date.
Yeah. This is why dating would not be good for me. I'm just gonna slip into something a little more sedated.
I like it. Come around.
I wouldn't be the most fun date. It's okay.
I think you'd be a fun date.
You think so?
I have fun with you.
I have fun with you too, but you and I are very unique people.
And we're not dating.
And we're not dating. We're very unique people, and we like to be at home with our cats. And we like to be sedated. So like, I mean, but I love that you're you, and I love that for us. So Alexis is officially my ideal date, except we're not dating.
Yeah, we're each other's ideal date to not.
To not date. That's
Yeah.
okay. It gives us hope, right? There's other people like us in the world. Who like actually sent each other messages this morning about like blankets for their cats,
Oh my
right?
gosh, I know, I'm so excited to look into that.
Oh my god. Does the shawl smell like chloroform to you? Which shawl are you talking about? Good lord.
Does the shawl
You talking about hospital shells? I don't know. All right, dropping in now. Woo! Again, gonna invite you to roll your shoulders back. Just take these next few minutes for you. This is your time. This is your space, and it's our last journey of 2022.
I can't believe that.
Right? So what I'm going to do with this journey tonight, my intention, is to have you experience different states of awareness. Right? We've used our incense. We've made our perfume. We've anointed. We've blessed the space. Lay down if it's comfortable. Sit down if it's comfortable. I'm just here for you. Put a big blanket around you. Make sure you're warm and comfortable for the next few minutes. So, I want you to think now. Not think, really. I want you to be aware. I want that brain to shut off. It's been working too hard, and honestly, half the time it's so boring. I want you to be aware that when we slow our sound down, we're talking to our brain. And when we speed our sound up, we're talking to our brain and our central nervous system. So just know, as I'm modulating, you're going to feel different levels of energy. And I want you to notice when we go lower from beta to alpha to theta. I probably won't knock you out to gamma, but I might. Or not to gamma, but to delta. And notice then when we go back to theta, right? Alpha. Beta and gamma. You're going to have different experiences. And tonight, I'm just being intentional. So I want to welcome in the guides and the guardians tonight. Guardians of the East, for new beginnings, new cycles. Thank you for guiding us through our last journey together for 2022. I love the beam of light that's coming through the window right now. Never happened before on screen. It's beautiful. Those are the guardians of the East showing us light in the way on this sacred Holy Week. You are welcome here. And then to the guides and the guardians of the South, thank you for that passion portal, that gateway to creativity, to power and potential and transformation. You are here and you are welcome. And to those guides and guardians of the West, for creating ease and flow, helping us to move easily and in a fluid way through the challenges of our lives, creating abundance, feeling nurtured. You are here and you are welcome. And to the guides and the guardians of the North, for grounding and peace and stability, reminding us that when we can't be steady, you are steady for us. Grandparent energy here, generations before holding our hands. You are here and you are welcome. And then to the guides and the guardians of the spirit element, you are straight up illuminating the East for clarity, the South for passion, the West for ease, and the North for safety, for presence, and your own element of ether or spirit, us have faith and trust in the process and surrender more deeply tonight. And together we say, Amen. Aho. And so it is. Okay, so let's dive. Let's dive. We're going to start at beta tonight. Like I said, the highest state is lambda, which is you're not alive anymore. You can't be in a human body and get to lambda. Scientists have shown that that's not possible. And delta is you are stone cold asleep, having the greatest dreams because you are in total REM. And I'm probably not going to get you there tonight either. So I'm going to keep you between beta and gamma and beta and theta tonight is my goal. And I like that for us. That's full range. Remember, alpha is, we should start with beta. So let's start here at beta. You're thinking, but you're kind of in the here now moment. You're totally aware that it's Tuesday. Unless you're in a different hemisphere. It's Tuesday. Maybe you've had dinner, maybe you haven't. You know what temperature it feels like in the room. Is there enough light? Too much light? You're laying on the carpet. Is it scratchy? No, you've got this weird little neck pain. It's annoying you. Thinking about holiday gifts. Did I get enough? Did I finish? Dinner. A friend who texted you earlier. Did I text them back? I can't remember if I responded to that email. But then you look out the window and there's two birds flying right in formation with each other. It's not windy, but there's like this beautiful breeze between the palm trees. And the cars on the freeway are going at like a steady pace. There's no traffic. Everything's moving with like ease and flow. Honestly, those birds have never been more beautiful. And the sky is like it's like a mix of blue and gold. And there's just one cloud. And it looks like a bird. Then you realize you're kind of daydreaming. And yeah, those emails are important. But you kind of forgot what they were about for a minute. Because the birds and the traffic, and it's so pretty. And you start thinking, I wonder how old that tree is. That tree was probably there when I was a kid. I wonder if there's birds' nests in those trees. It's kind of that time of year. And the sky is changing color, even as I'm watching it. The blue is becoming deeper because the sun is setting. which is a traditional shamanic drum beat. Right? Theta is no longer out there. Theta is in here. What does the sunset represent? How many more will I see? Did I use this day in a good way? Did I help someone? Where did I show love? Where did I feel love? And it comes all the way in. Did I treat my body gently today? How did I feed myself? Did I rest when I was tired? What do my cells need? If I was hungry right now, what would I eat? That tells you what vitamins are missing. If I was thirsty right now, what would I drink? That tells you what minerals are missing. And the more we slow down, the brain waves, we slow down the breathing, which tells our central nervous system that we are not in danger. We are safe. What does that do to the root chakra? It takes us out of fight or flight. Everything is okay. I am safe. I am healed. I am protected. I am worthy. I am here. I am connected. I belong. And every cell in the body begins to open and say, okay, it's like being home in your pajamas. We're not going out tonight. Ooh. Right? I can relax. I don't have to worry about anything. Do you know what that tells your cells? Take all their energy and turn it toward healing. They have nothing else to focus on. They're not running. They're not rushing. They're not doing. So now, all the cells in your digestive tract, all the cells around your heart, all the cells in your veins, in your arteries, all the cells around your brain, your spinal fluid. They just have a chance. They know what to do. They're just under too much pressure because of how fast everything is moving when you're in your waking state. This is why kids grow when they're asleep. The body can't grow when it's awake. This is why your pain is better in the morning and gets worse at night. So we can train our brain to do this anytime. I'm going to leave you here for another 10 seconds before I take you up. Because upward has a purpose too. Give every cell where you have pain or illness or disease permission here to stop and heal. You are safe. You are connected. Now we rise from theta. To alpha, 9 to 13 hertz brain waves per second. Back up to beta. We came here to be beta. I can't sleep all day. I gotta teach you. You gotta do your job, which is whatever you're doing to heal this world. But above that, I gotta do, I gotta be, I gotta think, I gotta figure it out, is gamma. Gamma is excitement, in love, inspiration. I can't wait to get there. I can't wait to do that thing. I'm so excited. Oh, I wish it was now. I wish it was now. I wish it was now. I want more of that. I get to see that person tomorrow, but I want to see them today. I get to do that job tomorrow, but I want to do it today. It isn't just I have to, it's I want to. I can't get there fast enough. When we're here, I want you to think about what excites you, what lights you up. If I can wave a wand and you can have whatever you want today, right now, in this moment, right now. This is law of attraction, literally in gamma. I'm going as fast as I can. My arm muscles aren't that strong. I'm doing it for you though. I'm not lifting weights on the right side this week. What could I give you that would make every single thing come alive? Every bucket list, every dream, every desire, every oh my god, I can't love knowing what's possible. You know, people talk about ayahuasca and they talk about whatever, and I've done it all. But what we can do with sound and heart rate and breath, and think about it. I'll never forget watching that monitor. They got, the lines were farther apart. Yeah, whole wave. Whole wave. This year has been an experiment, you know, and I'll reflect more on it next week when I have my cap and gown and all that stuff on, and I want to get to readings. But this year was really, you know, an experiment in what does it mean to have insight, right? Not just foresight of what's going to happen, but insight. What's happening right now? Like, can we understand what's happening right now and put it in perspective? And the one piece I think, you know, when you focus on intuition for a year, what I wanted to do tonight was bring it back to the body. You know, one of my favorite teachers that I've been with for a couple of years, her mantra is back to the body. Even this morning I had an energy work session with her and she was like, now back to the body. And I wanted to bring you back to your body tonight, to the heartbeat, to your brain waves, to the level of control that you have over your experience of what happens to you and what you experience. You can't control what people are going to say to you or what's going to happen, or, you know, someone living or dying or any of that. You can't control any of that, but you can control how you experience it and how you receive it and how you manage it in your body. And I think what we focused on this year is your psychic gifts, so that you can have as much advanced awareness as possible, because I do think that's a gift. But once that advanced awareness comes, it doesn't really change what's going to happen. And so then what you have at your fingertips is is energy, is your toroidal field, is your spin, is your brainwave, is your frequency, right? And to the extent that you can learn how to modulate through sound, through binaural beats, the one thing I wanted to tell you that was in my notes that I did not talk about tonight, where did I write it? Right here. Let me just give you the rest of my notes real quick. Binaural beats, because people are going to ask me, and then we'll turn to readings. And I will also look for questions in the feed, too. Normally we don't do Q&A at the end of session 3. We do an hour of readings, but I will also be looking for questions, too. And I do want to release our guides and guardians. Binaural beats are 2 different audio signals in each ear. And here's how it works, and it's math, so you may not like this, but this is how it works. Like, say you have a 250 hertz frequency playing in this ear on this headphone and a 258 hertz frequency playing on this headphone. That's going to take you to 8 hertz frequency. It's the difference between the 2 beats. And then you can line that up to, okay, so that would be theta, right? 4 to 8. So if the difference between the 2 numbers is between 4 to 8, it's going to take you to theta. If the difference between the 2 numbers is between 9 and 13, it's going to keep you at alpha. If the difference between the 2 numbers is 14 and 29, it's going to keep you in beta. Does that make sense? So binaural beats are really important. If you search YouTube binaural beats theta, you're going to find an absolute bajillion different free, sometimes 6 and 8 hours playlists of them, so you don't have to pay for that. That's something you can find easily on YouTube.
Can I just say something really cool before you go on?
Yeah.
You ended the journey
Yeah.
at exactly 4:32.
Seriously?
You did. I took note of it. Yeah.
Wow.
I just thought that was really interesting.
That's the God frequency, which is really interesting. I'm glad that you mentioned that. Shamanic drumming tends to keep you at theta state 4 beats per second, traditional shamanic drumming, so that's a good way to go too. Remember that the theta state is associated with calm, ease, flow, and being in the zone, so losing track of what you're doing. Like you're so in the zone and in the moment that you forget, I gotta go pick up my kid from school. That's theta. Gamma are the fastest human brain waves that are associated with learning, expansion, and spiritual ascension. So moving quickly. That's why love is so powerful, because when you're in love, you're like, you're not in theta. You're super high. Love is the most powerful emotion we can feel, and it makes us super creative, and it helps us to learn things better. When we're in love, we're better students. When we're in love, we're better teachers. All the things are better when we're in love. And so, and I give you that example because being in love takes you to gamma. Okay. I'm going to release our guides and guardians from our beautiful journey and then turn it over to readings, because I could talk about everything we're talking about right now till tomorrow. So I want to release with gratitude the guides and the guardians of the 5 elements. First, the guides and guardians of the element of spirit for coming through with divine timing and activating all of the other 4 elements, the earth, the water, the fire, and the air. I want to release the guides and guardians with gratitude of the element of north, of earth. Thank you for grounding us, keeping us in our place and space, helping us to feel safe and protected. We release you with gratitude, thanking and releasing the guides and the guardians of the west for your emotional renewal and support, helping us feel deeply connected to ourselves and to each other across space and time. Thanking and releasing the guides and the guardians of the south. Thank you for encouraging and inspiring us, helping us to be connected to our passion and our purpose in this lifetime, and transforming in service of that higher purpose. And then thanking and releasing the guides and the guardians of the east for opening new doorways, new cycles, new timelines, and a new season ahead. Tomorrow, we thank you and release you with gratitude. My fingers are super buzzy. There's like, I feel like I have lobster claw from breath work. Amenahon, so it is. Okay, so I'm going to do some readings, y'all. I think I should get like a basket.
Yeah, like have a basket over there.
So I have like some things. And I don't really like having wipes there, but
Right,
I have a
like
bunch
you
of
wanna,
wipes.
you want to have like sound tools next to you.
I know.
Are the wipes supposed to be there, or should those just be moved?
I don't use wipes.
What kind of wipes
I'm not
are
really like
they?
a cleaning,
What kind of
clean physical person. I think they're physical wipes, and I don't use those on my hands. I'm kind of a dirty birdie. I don't know.
Remove wipes. I'm making notes.
I mean, I like wipes for cleaning. I just don't wipe my hands with them. I'm afraid of it. It's like too much antibacterial makes you. I don't know.
No, I don't.
I'm
I don't like using antibacterial stuff either.
I don't know. I'm old school that way. Okay. I have 2 decks that I was called to both of them this week, you guys, and sorry, not sorry. So I'm going to show you what they are. And they're decks I've never used before. I ordered special decks for tonight because it was our last session of the year. So the first deck is this one. It was a gift called the Unshakable Inner Peace Oracle Cards by Shannon Kaiser. And then this is also a gift from Tracy Wilkes called the Navigator Oracle, and she designed it, and they're fucking awesome. So I just love them both, and you can, if you have a preference, then that's fine. Otherwise, I'm just gonna intuitively choose for you. And then pendulum.
It's right here.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, I do have to have a pendulum when I do readings. It's my binky.
There is also the Dream Oracle deck if you're feeling.
Oh yeah, of course. And your Dream Oracle deck too. So I would like to actually pull some cards from there too. And this came with your tools for the month. So, okay, you ready? Okay, just shuffling the cards real quick. I have such small hands. Shuffling cards is like a damn nightmare. Look at this. They just pop out.
Do you need some help?
No, I have
bigger hands than you. Let me try.
Okay, here, you shuffle that one. I don't.
It's just sad to watch. I just do it. These are so pretty.
They're super beautiful. They're just huge. I just can't. I can't with big decks. I don't like big decks.
Look at the Amethyst Mountains.
It's a beautiful deck. It's just big. Okay. Okay, Becky Love, could I have my first reading, please? I will read for you from, actually I'm feeling called to Tracy's deck. And again, Karen and Alexis will put the information up if you like these decks. I don't have these for sale, but... Okay, so let's dive right in. Becky. And my question, unless you ask a specific question, my question is going to be, what do you need to know as we head into this new season to bring more light into your life? Because that's what this whole week is about. Whether you're Christian or pagan or Jewish, it's all about bringing more light into your life. So Becky. Discernment. Learn to discern. Do you really want to give that person or that situation all your energy? Not a great card.
Takes us back to January.
It does. It is kind of full circle. Excuse me, are the feelings you're experiencing really your feelings, or could you be absorbing someone else's energy?
Ooh.
Those are big, powerful questions. It's interesting, Becky, because then I start to channel, right? So if you're new or if this is your first reading, I read you the card, but then the guides always have other things to add on. What I'm hearing is you are a really strong channel and empath, but you do have to be able to distinguish between what's yours and what's not yours. You know, sometimes, Becky, we want to take responsibility for things that don't belong to us. And what I will tell you is almost everybody I know and love does that. So I'm not judging you. I do it. A lot of empaths are like, oh, and what I've noticed with empaths is we'll say, I'm sorry, even if we didn't do something wrong. Like, oh, I'm sorry. It's like, what? I mean...
I do it all the time. Even if I just have to ask a question, I'll be like, I'm so sorry to bug you, but just like...
I'm sorry to take your time. And it's like, I love that you're taking my time, right? But we don't... But we tend to see ourselves, and sometimes it's rooted in childhood. For me, it is, but it can also be just in your soul who you are. It doesn't even have to be like a blame game thing of like, oh, when you were young, people told you to be quiet or whatever. Like, nobody really told me to be quiet, but there was definitely a sense of like, everybody was busy. So I was kind of extra, right? So yeah, take up your space, but don't take up your space, but don't take up other people's space. Like, be responsible for you, but don't feel like you have to take responsibility for everything. I don't know, I hope that makes sense to you, because it's something I have struggled with too. All right, Danielle Cordano. First card reading in Soul Shift. She's not continuing with us next year. So she wants to know, what would her spirit guides, angels, and source want to share with her for 2023? Let's take a look. Danielle. What does Danielle need to know for 2023? Which I do think is going to be a better year. I'm tiptoeing into it because the last 2 years have been weird. I do have a lot of faith and hope, Danielle, for 2023. Let's see what's coming up for you. Love this. Be the observer. Even when another person is not acting how you think they should, you can still show compassion. Be the observer of the situation, and from that neutral space, you get to choose whether or not to engage or sit this one out. So the guides are talking about your sovereignty, your agency, and where you get to decide. What's right for you, what works for you, what doesn't work for you, what your priorities are, because they keep talking about priorities. 2023 is going to be a year of sorting. Keeping this, not keeping that. Keeping that, not keeping this. It looks like clearing house, but it could be clearing energetic house too. But it feels good. It does. The energy around it feels very, very good. And I'm glad you were here tonight for a reading. That makes me happy. Okay. Let's see. Hi, Christiana. She said, I've missed you live, Athena. Would love a reading, and please and thank you. Oh, you're so welcome. All right, Christiana, I'm going to pull from our dream deck from your tools this month. Ooh. I know. I'm excited. I hope you guys will use these little cards, too. It came with a little booklet, didn't it? I thought it was a little tiny
I don't think it came
card.
with a book, did it?
I thought it came with a card.
It might be mixed in with the deck.
Oh, you know what? I bet it is.
Maybe,
Okay.
yeah.
All right. So Christiana, we'll see. Christiana. Let's see what's coming up for you. Something lost. Searching for reconnection. Oh, this is interesting, Christiana, what the guides are saying. Something lost, but it's part of you. Reminds me of the concept of shamanic rebirth and what they call soul retrieval in shamanism, which is where, Christiana, like when we have a challenging experience, we kind of like shed or lose parts of ourselves along the way. In psychology, they call it disassociation, but in shamanism, they call it soul loss. And it happens to people all the time. And it can be something minor, like, I don't know, you get into a disagreement or an argument, or somebody cuts you off on the freeway, and you kind of let go of something in order to move forward. 2023 for you, they're saying, is going to be a year of retrieving those parts of yourself that have been lost or shed, and coming into wholeness. And Christiana, this is going to have an impact on your health too. Whatever health concern you've been having this year, I feel like you're going to have some spontaneous healing around it next year. I don't know what that is, but they're saying it's because what you've been feeling is not so much happening in this dimension, but it's happening because some part of you was shed and you needed to, and now you're going to go back and pick it up energetically and bring it back into a fuller version of you and who you are, which I think is really, really beautiful. I love that for you, actually. Oh, beautiful. Yeah, Trish did soul retrieval this year, and she said it was really powerful. Okay, Amalea. She hasn't had a reading in 2 years, and she would like to know what she needs to know today. All right, Emalea. Let me see what's coming up for you today. All right. Children. Inner child. And that's what the guides are talking about too. It's really interesting because as soon as I saw the card, I'm like, no, this isn't about her children. This is about inner child, little Emalea. There's part of you that needs some really deep nurturing, the guides are saying. I don't know if you've been looking for it in other people or other situations or other experiences, but it really needs to come from you. There's something in you to heal you, and you're ready to do that work now. Does that make sense? And you know what? It's funny to me. Sometimes the way the guides communicate just kind of cracks me up. It's like, it can be little things. Was there something you really wanted when you were little that didn't happen? Like a place you wanted to go or something you wanted to buy? The guides are saying there's something. I'm seeing you at like 5, 6, 7, maybe based on my kids, like what I'm seeing of you, like little girl. Is there something you really wanted? Can you do that for yourself now, whatever that thing was? It doesn't feel like it's a huge thing. That would be a really sweet gesture towards your little person who's like trying to get your attention. And I kind of feel like, it's interesting, I kind of feel like when you do this, you're gonna be able to do this for other people. It may not be like a service that you provide, but I do feel like other people need this too. And if you could figure out a way to be a guide for this or kind of a messenger for this, it would be really powerful for other people too. Isn't that sweet? Okay. Chrissy Whistler's birthday is in 10 damn hours. She said it's a massive transformation year. Any guidance for her next solar year? I'm honored to do your birthday reading ahead of your birthday in 10 hours. And what a holy, sacred, beautiful birthday. Happy Yuletide birthday. All right, Chrissy, let's see what's coming up for the solar return. Chrissy. What does she need to know? The guides are like, she needs to lighten up. Have you been too serious this year? You need to play. Here's the card. Grab crystals for your situation. It says, physics teaches us that at the atomic level, everything is vibrating, right? Not just physics, but the Hermetic principles, which I believe are kind of the foundation of physics. Tune into the frequency of your crystals and activate them with intention. Keep them close by and clear them often. Go back to your basics. That's what the guides are saying. In these big years of change and transformation, what often turns out to be the best medicine is going back to the basics. What do you know to be true? What's always been your North Star? Does that make sense? And restore your faith there. Refocus your energy there. There's something you haven't done in a long time from early in your practice. What a fun reflection exercise for you, right? What did I used to do that I don't do now? And I'll tell you what mine is, and I actually haven't even shared this with Alexis yet, or Karen, but I'll kind of share it now. So, because this has been coming up for me too. So I had this dream where I had something here at SG called SG Council.
SG Council? Okay.
Yeah. And we met once a month. It was optional. But any employees here who are practitioners and wanted to connect with the other practitioners
Oh, I love that idea.
could just come together for an hour or two, and we would, I don't know, drum or make an incense together or whatever, but just like something to come back to our practice each month, but completely optional and just the practitioners.
I think that's a really great idea.
And it's funny because like we used to do a little bit of that in the old days, and it's become, it's become more challenging, and we haven't done it since we moved back into this building. So even I've been thinking about
I
that.
love that.
But in the dream, I had a whole thing. It was like, oh, SGC is on Tuesday. Like, we were talking about this
Like
thing.
we
It was
were
on the
saying.
calendar. Interesting, right?
Yeah.
So my thought was like in 2023.
I love that. I love that idea. You know, I'll be there.
There's quite a few practitioners
Oh,
here.
absolutely. Yeah.
But then what's nice about that is nobody feels obligated.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, if you're not a practitioner, it's not like you're judged. It's just like whoever wants to come, like, you're going to get a free lunch and bang a drum. Work out your gooners, you know what I mean? Like, and get paid for it. Obviously, it'd be during their work day, but it wouldn't be required or anything. So,
I love it.
kind of sweet, right?
It definitely is. For this Navigator Oracle deck, we can't find. Oh, I'll go get you some more. We can't find the link to link them to the Navigator Oracle deck. It was created by Tracy Wilkes, who
Yeah, Tracy
is
Wilkes.
a member of our Soul Shift
Yeah,
community.
she's in our community. By the way, Tracy does not know that I'm using this deck tonight.
Yes, so don't go bombarding her with messages. But Tracy, if and when you see this,
I should have told Tracy. That's kind of a...
let us know. I can try sending her a message.
Yeah, maybe just PM her and just go, you know,
Okay.
Athena went rogue and...
And show it your thing. Because I tried.
When you send me a deck, I usually assume that means it's okay for me to use it. Like, I think I've used everybody's deck that they've sent me so far, so it's a beautiful deck.
Yeah, I just tried looking on her Facebook to see if I could find anything, like on her personal page, and didn't see anything.
Hashtag, sorry, Tracy Wilkes.
Is there something specific you'd like to do?
No, just anything with caffeine.
Okay.
Okay, let's see. Oh, I love it. Maviel Hernandez. What a beautiful name. Did I pronounce it correctly? It's my bestest Espanol for you, Maviel. It's a gorgeous name. She said it's her first reading of the year. Isn't that fun? So Maviel. Let's see what's coming up for you today. Thank you. Bang me, baby, one more time.
I'll put this for you, and then I will. Do you want to take this last sip?
No, it's okay. We can mix it up.
Are you sure?
It was also a bang.
It was a Celsius.
Inner child. But you know what I found, Maviel, is usually the people I read for back to back, there's something between them. Alexis has noticed it too over the years. Like, there's often like a connection between people. So the inner child thing coming up again doesn't surprise me too much. Thank you. I'm actually, though, with this particular reading for you, I feel like it's a child spirit from the other side. Communicating with you. I don't know if this is a child that wants to come through you or didn't come through you, but it feels like a little one on the other side. And the message feels very pure, like, I love you, and it's connecting with your inner child. It's almost like, here's what I'm seeing. Big picture. This is a child on the other side who I feel like was your sibling in another lifetime, but isn't here right now in the physical. And it's like just wanting to say hi and I love you. It's like you have a sister on the other side. I don't know if you've ever felt this way before. But you have someone who knows you really well on the other side and knows kind of where you are and what you're going through. And, you know, between you and me, that's kind of what I think it is when little kids, you know, that you lost your baby in 2021. Yeah. Feels female. This little spirit. This soul was your sibling. Oof. The soul was your sibling. And knows you really well. And so the way this soul is coming through now is peer-to-peer with you. It's not coming through as like a baby, although this makes sense. It's coming through as like truly your sister, and like to dialogue with you. There's an energy around it of just wanting to be with you and wanting to talk to you, and like it's almost like if you had a really best friend in the world and they were in the room with you, you could talk to this spirit. Was it a girl? Thank you for the honor of letting me read for you tonight, and know that she's there. And you know, it's true of all of them, right? Like, my kids are old souls. Anytime I look at them as kids, I'm always like, they're not kids. They're old souls. So, anyway. I don't know if you guys caught that, those of you who are in the feed, but that was really sweet to be able to connect with her daughter. But she was your sister. Feels like older sister. But not too much older, like a year or two. And you guys were really close. She's right there for you. So, hopefully that brings you some joy. She's still there with you. You guys may have another go at this. It's not going to be as mother and daughter next time. Different. She'll show up in some other way, and you'll know. As soon as you look in her eyes, which are your eyes, you will know that you've seen her again. As soon as you're like, there she is, the third time. Yeah. Woo. Okay. Let me come out of that for a second. Sorry, it's sometimes when I do have a real big channel like that, I gotta take a second. That was very sincere. Okay. All right, Liz Grant. Let's go. Let's see what's coming up for Liz. Liz. That was really cool. All right, let's come into Liz's field. Liz. What does Liz need to know during this beautiful week of light that Liz doesn't know right now? For you, Liz. For you, Liz. For you, Liz. Guides are already talking. The channel's real open tonight. It feels really open on my side, I have to say. Don't compare yourself to others. You are on your own path. You are right where you need to be. You're worthy of love and acceptance. Try reciting a mantra or affirmation to keep your vibe high. Okay, this is what I'm getting for you, Liz. I don't know what may have happened in the past to compromise your self-esteem in any way, but it is time to just let that go and move on. I mean, the universe is trying, and the guides are saying they're trying in multiple ways to show you how magnificent you are, because that confidence in you is really important for where you're going. There's a lot of success ahead for you. More success in 2024 than 2023. And that's not to say that 2023, the guides are saying, is not going to be a successful year for you, but 2024 has more in it. 2023 is like the foundation or the groundwork. And they're saying 2022 has been that way too. You've already started. But 2024 is where you're going to see most of the payoff. But whatever that, they're talking about something that happened that made you question yourself or doubt your abilities. And I don't know what it is, but it's time to really just take that, pluck that fruit from the tree and put it into the river and let it float away, because whatever you were supposed to learn from that experience, you've already learned it. Don't let it continue to have a ripple effect, if that makes sense. It's very important for you, especially for 2024. Something big is going to happen for you, and it feels exciting. Okay. Yeah, I agree, Lee Jackson. I think it's kind of for everybody. Let's see. Okay, Vicky Payne would love some guidance, and permission is granted. Okay, Vicky, let's see. And by the way, it's okay to say it's your first reading. I do kind of like to know that sometimes, because especially at the end of the year, if there's some of you I haven't gotten to this year, it'd be really sweet. I always balance it between new and experienced, but Vicky Payne, don't keep score. Allow the release of resentment. Remembering a past trauma every time there's a new hurt does not protect you from it happening. Isn't that the truth? Use your amazing strength you have gained to allow past hurts to stay in the past. Forgiveness. It's interesting. They're talking about something else. They're talking about a place where you need to forgive. There's one scenario in particular, feels like it's related to a family member, and it's time for you to not be the one holding on to whatever the issue or challenge is. Because if you do that, it's going to unwind everything and allow you to move forward. Because there's part of you that's frustrated. Like, why can't I move forward? And it's like, well, because you're holding on to this little, like a little mouse with a little piece of cheese. You let go of that, and then the other chess pieces start to go. That feels very important for you. Okay. Okay, Marty Seidel. She is struggling, facing the first Christmas without her daughter. All permissions granted. It's interesting, Marty, I had a conversation with a girlfriend of mine last night, because we both lost people this year. And last year, I'm sorry. So this is our second Christmas. And she said, don't you think this one's worse? It's like, it's weird to go, like, is this one worse or is that one worse? And what we decided last night is the second one's worse. Because the first one you're in shock, and the second one you're not in shock anymore. So then it's like, oh, they're really not here. So, but if you were to ask me this time last year, I would have said that one was worse. So I think it's just like, it's like where you are on the grief spectrum, but a lot of us are wrapping really big arms around you this year, and I hope you can feel that, because I don't know your loss. I know my loss, but it's like apples and tomatoes, but I just want you to know that you're not alone, and we see you. So Marty, what does she need to know to move through these layers and stages this Christmas? What will help her soul and be a source of inspiration and guidance tonight? Allow the release of resentment. Remembering a past trauma every time there's a new hurt does not protect you from it happening. Use your strength you've gained to allow past hurts to stay in the past. It's hard because sometimes the guides say things and I have to filter it because I'm human through my own lens. And I'm like, I don't want to say that. But it's not for me, so it's for you. This year needs to be a lot about you. This Christmas needs to be a lot about you and what you need, and in any way that, whatever that looks like, this needs to be your Christmas. You spent a lot of Christmases, the guides are saying, doing everything for everyone, and you did a real good job, apparently, they're saying. What would this Christmas look like if it was just your Christmas? For you. With everything that you would love to have. No matter how simple or complicated, or what would that look like for you? This Christmas gets to be yours. But that's hard for me to say to you. Because if somebody were to ask me that, I wouldn't know what to say. It's not my job to to filter it through my own experience. Okay, whew. It's hard. All right, Sarah has never had a reading. Sarah Pixie Light. Hi, Sarah. Let's do this. Sarah. What do you need to know right now that you don't know today? It's going to help give you inspiration and wisdom in this week of light. Remember, this is a dream deck, so it's also about symbols and dreams, right? I love this for you. Butterfly. You're changing, you're transforming. And the guides say it's beautiful. It's beautiful. Doesn't always feel beautiful, does it? I I have a triple Scorpio friend who's not gentle in how he communicates about pretty much fucking anything. And he's like, in the chrysalis, butterflies turn into like goo. Because I'm always like, butterflies in the chrysalis. And he's like, they actually look like snot. He's got like a weird like lispy accent. He's like, they actually look like snot. And I'm just like, do you have to ruin everything, triple Scorpio? Like, couldn't it just be nice? Couldn't it just be beautiful? And like, he's like, no, it's like poop. It's like snot. So anyway, I'm saying this to you because I think it's been poopy snot for you at points too. But you are emerging. So if I'm saying, isn't it beautiful? And you're like, actually, it's been some poopy snot. My friend would say, it's totally true. I told her already it's not that pretty in the chrysalis. So anyway, I think you're through the poopy snot phase, and I think you're coming to the beauty phase. But 2023 has a lot of butterfly energy for you ahead. I mean, it's good to have friends who keep it real and like don't BS, but sometimes I'm just like, give me the sugar-coated version. Sarah's like, yep. Poopy snot. All right, Cindy Dotson got some additional challenging news today. Reading, please. She says she's at the end of what she can take. You know what happens at the end of what you can take, Cindy Dotson? Grace. It's a higher power at that point. Because that's really all that can give you grace. So call on it. Higher power, I call upon you to give me grace. Amen, and so it is. Dear Jesus, I am not your strongest soldier. Amen. All right. I mean, we out here, Jesus, and it's pretty much enough. You know what I mean? Like, we're good. Cut.
Put us on the bench.
Sock in it. Bench us. I'm actually serious. All right, Cindy. Let's see what's coming up. Use your tools. Crystals for your situation. Physics teaches us that everything at the atomic level is vibrating, right? Actually, what's interesting about this, I don't think this is a superficial message to you, Cindy, like, oh, there's a crystal for that, right? That's not what this is. You know what this is? We need to get you into a place where you're not vibrating in alignment with this frequency so that this is it. So we have to shift your frequency. I've explained this to you before. I will make you a poorly illustrated version of this. But I'm totally serious. Everybody's vibrating, okay? You're vibrating on this line. There's some people who are vibrating on this line, and there's some people who are vibrating on this line. Right? Some people used to vibrate with you here. All of a sudden, they drop out of your life. What happened? They either went here or they went here. We left you here. What happened? We didn't have a falling out. No, you vibed off, right? Whatever you are on the freeway with, you are at the same frequency, you're going to continue to attract it. So we have to get you out of sadness, depression, all of those vibrations and loss to a different frequency so that you start vibing in alignment with different experiences and people. It's the absolute truth. And I'll tell you, you know how you do it? When you're at the place you're at, which I've been there and a lot of people have been there, I hate to say this to you, vibrationally, you got to fake it till you make it. Crystals, sound tools, binaural beat. I mean, you've been in this program. What you got, right? Solfeggio frequencies, tuning forks, crystal singing bowls, drum. I took you through a whole thing tonight. You've got to, you got to work with higher crystals with a higher dominant oscillatory rate. you're vibing too low. So you got to get your amethyst and your morganite and your quartz, and you've got to start raising that vibration. You got to meditate with them every morning. You've got to call upon the higher archangels, right? You've got to call upon Uriel and Michael and Metatron. You've got to pull yourself out of that vibrational space. You have 19 different tools at your fingertips from this year alone. But I'll tell you something. Sometimes I need to hear it. And that's right, Erica said it's entrainment. But sometimes I need to hear it. So if you think, well, it just must be so obvious. Nope. You may have to fake it for a decade. It isn't like I lit my candle, for a week and then I didn't get my wish or whatever. It's like, if you really, Sage Goddess was a vision in my mind for 5 to 7 years before I ever did anything about it. Sometimes, and that wasn't faking it till I made it, but it was just like, wasn't the right time. I wasn't in the right space. I was afraid. I was hesitating. Let me do something else. I'm going to pretend that isn't what I should be doing. Like, sometimes it takes 10 years to get where you need to be, right? We've all been there. Not exactly the way you've been there, but like our own versions of it. So I say this with so much love and compassion. It's time to shift the frequency so we get you off of that freeway lane and you're onto a different platform. All right, Jan Perko would like a belated birthday reading going into 2023 with her new business.
Happy belated birthday, Jan.
Happy belated birthday to you. Happy belated birthday to you. Alexis is smudging. Bring it, darling. Jan. What does Jan need to know for this new year, this new solar cycle? Suspend judgment. You are not your thoughts. Forgive yourself. Nurture yourself. Be your own parent, cheerleader, or hero. Shine like a diamond. Shine bright like a diamond. Oh. You're a living, breathing expression of God's source. Yeah. Sometimes good things happen and you've earned it, and it's time to just sit there and enjoy it. That's the vibration of this reading. I think 2023 is going to be really positive for you, and I think you should just ride the wave. The shitty part of life is that your best years, you don't know are your best years until after my 20s were the best years of my life or whatever. But when you're in your 20s, you're like, God, those sucked or whatever, I think this is going to be one of your best years, and you may not know that till afterwards. So why not just enjoy it now? Yeah. You've worked really hard. That's what the guides keep saying. She's worked really hard for this. Yeah. Okay. Enjoy it. Brag about it a little bit. Pat yourself on the back a little bit. Okay. Tanya, all the permissions for you and your guides to lean into my energy stream. Help me make a clear path into 2023. Let's see. Tanya. Are you writing? Guides are talking about you writing. Looks like short things. Is it a blog? Like an oracle deck? Ooh, Tanya's gonna do an oracle deck. Ooh. Yeah. Like a soul play deck. Oh, I want that deck that you haven't written yet. No pressure. All right, Tanya, let's see what's coming up for you. Well, listen, ignore the pregnancy thing. Create something new. If you want to have a baby, that's fine, but for me, that gives me the hives. It's time. You got to create something new. You're overdue, darling. These guides are saying. She's overdue. That baby's been in there for like 18 months. When are you going to give birth? Leave it to your double fire sign sister over here to like kick your patootie, but You have all these gifts. What are you going to do with it? You're one of those people. No, but seriously, Tanya is one of those people who's like great at 94 things, which is a blessing and also a challenge at the same time. Like, so what are you going to do? I mean, those of us who are really good at kind of one thing, I'm really good at teaching and writing, like, that's a little easier for us. You know what I mean? Like, but she's good at a whole bunch of things, so she's going to have to... Hopefully you're laughing, Tanya. Okay, let's see. Kaz says, I would love to know what the new year 2023 is going to bring and what advice the guys have, and she gives me permission to read a movie. Kaz. What do you need to know? I thought you didn't like it.
No, the camphor.
Yeah.
I liked the camphor.
Oh, you did?
A lot.
Oh,
no,
okay.
I really liked this. No, my nose is running because I was crying. But my nose was getting sniffly. I don't know if you guys could hear me, but then I was just like, oh, like what if I sniff this camphor bottle? It helps.
Stick that right up your nose. No, it will. It'll clear your damn sinuses.
Can I keep this?
Yes, please.
The's like nothing in it, but it has
Enough to get up your nose
exactly.
later. Get you through
Please.
Christmas. All right, Kaz.
Pisces need to carry camphor bottles.
What's in the Pisces emergency kit?
An empty bottle of camphor.
Service to others. Do you know yourself and who you serve? Have you stated out loud to the universe what energetically you intend? That's interesting. The guides are saying there's part of you that knows but doesn't want to say it because it might change a lot. Is that true? Yeah. That's a conundrum, one cannot solve for another. It must be solved within. I think the universe oftentimes gives us these like big visions and dreams of what's possible, but then also makes us kind of keenly aware that to manifest those visions and those dreams, we'd have to really move a lot of chess pieces. It's up to you. This is something of a turning point this year. You can't make a wrong decision. But you have options on the table. Yeah. What will you do, darling? It all changes, doesn't it? All right, Emily Butler said, had a loss and been a bit sad. I see you. Wondering what Spirit has in store for next season. Thanks for a great year. I love you. I love you too. Thank you for being here. I'm glad it was a good experience for you. And I have enjoyed this year immensely with you guys. It's been a real joy for me. Truly. When I say enjoy, like literally, I've enjoyed it inside my soul. So Emily, what do you need to know for the season ahead? Curiouser and curiouser. Give advice only when it has been requested from you. Keep the mind of a beginner. Be childlike in your wonderment of the world. Try asking a question and then explaining what has been your experience. It gets harder as we get older to stay in curiosity because we kind of think, okay, I'll be curious, but I totally know how this is going to end. I've seen too many movies. I've had too many relationships, you know what I mean? Like, we try to stay curious, and then we're like, but I totally think I know where this is going. Something this year is going to surprise you. Keep an open mind, the guides are saying. Maybe don't rush to figure it out. Sit with the question. One of my favorite teachers who's teaching you next month, tarot. as your bonus class for Living Magic in February. Do you ever think, like, I keep a list, I know it's weird, I know it's really weird, don't judge me for this. I keep a list in my notebook of things that people teach me in my life. Like, I have a really good friend, and the number one thing she's taught me is don't wait until people are dead to give them flowers. And so once a week I buy her flowers.
Aww.
Like when I'm at the grocery store, or like last night I was at CVS and they had like red and white carnations.
Aww.
I know, it's like it's random, but like I do that for her because she taught me that. Like, people put flowers all over your casket when you're dead, and she's like, why? Like, I'm not there. Like, give me flowers when I'm alive. And so I'm sharing this with you because it's, you know, we learn these little bits of wisdom as we go, right? Like, we have to recognize the lessons as we're learning them. And I think one of the lessons that it seems like is coming through in this reading for you is, like, learn to let life surprise you. You know, I have another friend who says everything is scripted. I want, you know, our friendship not to be scripted. And I love that too. Like, I don't have to call you my best friend or like my only friend or like and we can go like months without talking and then catch up. And it's like she and I never stop talking. You know what I mean? Like, let's not let this be scripted. We don't live in the same country. You know what I mean? I only see her a couple times a year. And so it's like, yeah, just like let life surprise you. Does everything have to follow a script? Yeah. Anyway, maybe make a little notebook where you write down what people are teaching you, what you're learning from people. Everybody's your teacher, right?
I definitely don't think it's weird that you do that.
Really?
I think that's cool. Yeah.
I haven't done it yet, but I have a whole one for Dave.
Really?
Yeah, and one day I'm gonna, because I actually collected it from other people too, like, what have you learned from Dave? And I thought it'd be really cool to give him a book of like all the things that he's taught people. Like, mice nuts is in there. You know what I mean? Like, even the simple things, like the wisdom that people give you.
I think that's a really nice idea. And
It's
I have
sweet,
some
right?
stuff to contribute to that because I've learned a lot. I've learned a lot from Dave.
Yeah, he's very wise.
It is.
Maybe I'll finish that project.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea.
Can you imagine, like, wouldn't it be nice to receive a book as a surprise of like all the things people have learned from you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's nice.
Yeah. Anyway. She and I are in a reflective place.
No.
When I think about my mom sometimes, it's funny, like, when I think about what her wisdom is, like, shit or get off the pot, or like, put that out of your head, or, you know, my mom's wisdom was a little bit simpler.
Reflective is a nice word for how I'm feeling. Again.
Yeah, well, I'm trying to go with that. Okay, Liza Ramirez is going through a divorce and would love a reading, all permission granted.
Sending you some love.
Sweet medicine to your heart right now. With the holidays, it's hard, especially. Liza. What you got for her, spirit guides? Medicine for her heart. Interesting card. Do no harm. Do you really want to have an energetic tie to someone who did you wrong? Probably not. So instead, chalk it up to an unpleasant experience. Send them back their energy with a breath of love. Is this card talking about your ex? Yeah, it's interesting. You know, relationships are fascinating to me because I believe in cords, right? My teacher, who's a therapist, but she's also an energy worker, I tell you about her all the time. I've been with her for a long time. She always says, she's like, cords are like, I don't love talking about them because it's like, on the one hand, it sounds so metaphysical and stuff, but she's like, on the other hand, I don't really have a better way of explaining how we're connected to each other in these ways. And, you know, and because she's been a therapist for 39 years or something like that, 38 years. So she's like, I've just seen everything twice. And, you know, she's like, chords are interesting things, and we will hold on to a chord even when it's not serving us because we made a commitment, because we made a legal commitment or a spiritual commitment, right? People don't get married, but they've got a soul chord, and you better believe that's as strong as a marital contract. I mean, I don't think people have to sign shit to be connected to each other in very complicated ways. And so it's like, what are the terms of the contract? And if they're complete, can you be released in a beautiful, good way? You know what I mean? Yeah. That feels like an important question or consideration for you right now.
I don't find myself like thinking about or talking about chords much in my own personal life or practice. What I do think about a lot is quantum entanglement and that whole thing. And I don't know, the way I think about it is, instead of picturing it as a chord, I just kind of picture us as kind of having that effect on each other forever. And I know that's not necessarily something that can be changed, but when I shift my mindset from like, okay, like I'm corded to this person, to okay, we had that impact on each other, it feels less like strong, I guess, or like less current, you know?
I'm reading a book right now, and it's interesting because one of the quotes that stood out, I was reading it this morning, is the soul does not forget love. And the book was talking about how sometimes we will break up with someone and get back together with them, and sometimes it's the right thing and sometimes it's not the right thing. And we'll be judgmental of people, like, I can't believe she got back together with him, or like, I can't believe she had another kid with him, or whatever. But the book was saying is, we have to remember that the mind can forget love and overwrite it and like pretend like, now this is my new love and I don't love that person anymore. Like the prefrontal cortex, right? Like the modern brain can do that. But the limbic system, the older brain, doesn't forget love. It's deeply imprinted in those moments, to your point. And so that's why when you see your ex, like even 10 years later, if it was a really deep relationship, you may not want to go have sex with them, but like you may feel this really strong vibrational still like and intimate awareness of them.
Yeah.
You know, so I think to your point, it's like the older part of your brain doesn't forget love that's very real.
Yeah.
Even if the front part of your brain is like, I moved on to Becky and she's even better, whatever.
Right, and like, yeah, exactly.
Or I moved on to Joe Bob.
And that's pretty much exactly what I'm saying.
Nobody moves on to Joe Bob.
I just say, like, when I picture it as a chord, it's giving it a little bit more, like, current power.
Yeah.
Versus just accepting, you know what, we had this impact on each other. It's kind of there forever, but it's not, like, at the forefront of my mind.
Yeah.
Because when I picture a chord, I picture almost like an electric cord or even, like, an umbilical cord where, the energy is going back
and I don't know
forth.
that that's accurate. I mean, again, because like we always try with these very 3D ways to like oh, that's a cord, and so now that has to mean umbilical cord or whatever. Like I do think it's more of an atomic kind of like, you know, we're connected and then but now we're still vibrating at those frequencies.
So it's not really like a chord.
Yeah.
At least that's how I've been thinking about it.
Anyway, sorry we were riffing on that, but hopefully that's a helpful conversation for you. Lisa Woods, it's her first reading of the year. She said her old house caught fire last week and she watched it being bulldozed today. Holy shit, she raised her son in that house. It was emotional to watch. This is not the same, but you know, the restaurant that my parents owned that I was supposed to take over, I wouldn't be sitting here with you today if that hadn't burned down. Burned down the day before I was supposed to take the SAT in high school at 4 in the morning here in LA, in South Bay. And we got there just as the last bits of it were burning, and the two buildings on either side of it were not touched. Like there wasn't even like smoke on them. And it was just like, it's like watching your whole life change. It's just like, you know, going through the rubble the next day and like trying to say there was a safe that wasn't damaged and that was all that was left. Like, fire is this ridiculous force, isn't it? So my heart's with you. When it's your home, it's got to be a whole different. I can't even imagine. But I do know the power of fire and the intensity of that destruction, and so I'm holding your hand. So Lisa, what does she need to know now? I mean, it's what you know. It's been burned clean now. So what's coming in its place? What does she need to see for 2023? Shadow. Your shadow is showing. It's okay, just note it. For today, notice your instant reaction and where you felt it in your body. Later, if you feel that shadow aspect is something that needs to be addressed, you can still do that. The guides are saying this is bringing up all kinds of emotions in you, as such experiences will, right? Everything probably from deep sorrow to rage to resentment to frustration to fear to grief on levels that I can kind of understand, but not completely because it wasn't my home. Let it burn through you, Lisa. You're going to rebuild something new and strong and do some ceremony, is what the guides are saying. Something needs to be released and let go there and laid down there. You'll know what to do. I mean, you're a practitioner. You've been doing this for a long time. There's an offering, though, that needs to be made from you to the land. And that's going to allow you to Alexis's point, kind of like the entanglement right now is still like that. And it will allow you to keep vibrating with that experience in that place, but not have part of you in the ground with it. When that happened to my family, my dad, I didn't think he was going to make it. My dad was really clinically depressed for quite a few years after that happened. Because it was just his heart and soul, you know? I mean, everything was that. And he didn't really know what to do with himself afterward. So it's just, you know, the elements are powerful, don't you think? I mean, no matter, you see hurricanes come with water and wind, and they can do the same thing in an instant. It's like everything you thought was solid and steady is gone, you know? Tina Matthews would love her first reading. Let's do this, Tina Matthews. All right, Tina. What's coming up for Tina? Birth. Building a solid foundation. Something is starting over for you. It's a new cycle. And you're just laying the groundwork for it now. It's a long time coming, though. Something you've wanted. And it feels like kind of baby steps, Tina, but they're significant because you are laying the groundwork for something that will be bigger, that will take kind of years to grow and mature and become. But it's beautiful, whatever this is. Also have faith in yourself. Sometimes I think you underestimate yourself. That's what the guides are saying. You're capable of more than you give yourself credit for. And you have a lot of people who want to help you and support you too. Is it hard to accept help or ask for help? I've gotten better at it over the years. When I was younger, I didn't want to ask for help. Now I'm always like, help! Excuse me, can somebody help me? You know, it's funny as you get older, it's like when you're young, you're like, I can do it all by, like 2-year-olds, all by myself. And then you get to be 50, and you're like, for the love of God, in the parking lot, can somebody help me? Yeah. Let's see. All right, Bonnie Leniski. Her birthday was last week. Happy birthday. Can she have a birthday reading?
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday to you. It's all good, Tina Matthews. It's going to be great. But, you know, ask for help. I'll ask for it for you. Can somebody help Tina Matthews? And I'll have an arrow on my little sandwich board. Bonnie. What's next for her in this new solar return she's just entering? I love this. Come back to Centaur. Are you feeling foggy-headed, overly energetic? One way to quickly ground your energy is to say your own birth name out loud 3 times, which is true. and say to yourself, I'm grounded and I am centered, as you imagine yourself connected to the earth. Let's all do that together with Bonnie. So you say your birth name out loud 3 times. So I'm going to say mine. Athena Irene Paracus, Athena Irene Paracus, Athena Irene Paracus. Do you want to?
I do, yeah. I don't know. I got caught up on what name to use.
The one that resonates most energetically,
okay.
not necessarily your birth name.
Alexis Cron, Alexis Cron, Alexis Cron.
And then we say, I am grounded and I am centered. I am grounded, I am centered. I am grounded, I am centered.
I am grounded, I am centered. I am grounded, I am centered. I am grounded, I am centered.
Thank you, Bonnie.
That was
Without
nice.
you pulling that card, we wouldn't have had that little moment.
That felt really good.
You feel that shift? Brainwaves slowing down, right? I am grounded, I am centered. I am grounded, I am centered. I am grounded, I am centered. This year's been a little busy bee, it feels like. A little buzzy. And it does feel like this is an important year to bring it in. It might feel a little boring for you. I'm sorry I'm tired. My MRI absolutely took it out of me last night, so if I yawn, that's why I'm trying to drink as much energy drink as I can. I've been drinking Coke all day to try and stay awake. I don't sleep well after my MRIs. But that was the last one for 2 years, which is great. It might feel a little boring for you this year at certain points, because sometimes when we're grounded and we're centered, and we're grounded and we're centered, and we're grounded and we're centered, we're grounded and we're centered.
Yeah, we're grounded and we're centered.
Which means we're not zoop, zoop, boop, boop, zoop, zoop, boop, boop. I think you've been a little zoop and boop this year. So you might be ready for boring. It's not bad. It's just, it's not going to be, I don't think you're going to be as much on the merry-go-round this year. But wasn't that your intention, the guides are saying? I love how the guides are like, hey, Sherry. So happy you're there. The guides are like, Bonnie wanted that. I love how they call us out. They're like, no, that girl wanted that shit. I'll let her tell you otherwise.
There's a comment that jumped out at me
Tell me.
from, I'm not sure if it's, please let me know, but I'm not sure if it's Cherie or Sherry Davis, who said, please see me, all permissions given, losing hope, help.
Donde está? Let me find her. There you are. All right, darling. Hi, Sherry Davis. Once again, what I want to tell you is we've all been there. And I know that doesn't necessarily make it better, but I do want to tell you, you are not alone. This is a very challenging time to be human. I when I said to you earlier, I don't know a lot of folks who are like, wee, this is me living my best life over here. I don't. I really don't. I do think for a lot of us, this is a collective, really challenging time for the spirit. And for me, Sherry, it helps me to know I'm not the only one. So I'm just sharing that with you. I want you to know that you're not the only one. And the spirit guides are like, use the other deck. So let's go. Sherry.
Aww. They said, Sherry said, just got, hi Athena, thank you, just got diagnosed with liver cirrhosis 4 weeks ago and it broke me.
I see you. Fire. What the guys are saying is it's time for you to fight. And you can do this. Yeah? You can do this. And you can. I don't know where you are at in your process, but those I have known in my life who've had the same condition, many of them have been able to reverse it with time and healing and medication and fight. But you may have to hustle here for it. But here's what I can tell you though. Remember that anything with the liver is all about processing what is often intergenerational trauma and pain. And so one of the things we can do together is ask spirit guides to help relieve you of trauma and pain that doesn't belong to you. Would that feel good to you? If you give me permission, I can kind of try to move some of that energy through. I do like to, when you see people saying permission granted, it's because they know I really can't do stuff like that if I don't have your permission. It's just not ethical, but just because I'm in your energy field, you know what I mean? And I like to know that that's okay. But yeah. So what gets stored in the liver for all of us, it's not just you, is the intense grief of our mothers and our grandmothers and our great-grandmothers, right? And our fathers and our grandfathers and our great-grandfathers. Usually in women it's the matrilineal, and usually in men it's the patrilineal. So it usually tends to go down the lines.
She said yes. Please.
Okay, so I'm just going to scan you real quick energetically. Yeah, my hand instantly is just warm. So I'm going to switch hands here. I'm going to use my right hand, which is my projecting hand. And all I'm doing is asking that any wounding and trauma that's in this part of your body, which if you think about the liver area, it's between your heart and your solar plexus, right? Which is all about your love and your power centers. And a lot of how we learn about love and power is ancestral, right? So the guides are just telling me just to create a triangle right here. And then an inverted triangle, almost looks like a Merkaba. And just to clear any energy, is that correct? Yeah, I'm just watching the pendulum, just to clear any energy there that doesn't belong to you. And just anything that's low-hanging fruit. We're not trying to pick ripe fruit, but anything in Sherry's field that doesn't belong to her right now. That's intergenerational, multi-generational, and is not hers. We're just going to clear that across all timelines and dimensions. And pendulum was like, yep. And do you feel that? And then I'm going to take that energy and put it into the wood of the table. You got to send it somewhere. Is there any other energy in her field that needs to be cleared at this time? Pendulum says no. Thank you for the honor of moving that for you. Did you feel it? Did you feel something? I hope you did. I felt it for you. Mm-hmm. Biggest thing is you got to let fear go, because the liver and the small intestine and the gallbladder too, and the pancreas too, to a certain extent, they store fear, right? Brainstem stores it too, but this is where we know it gets kind of lodged. I see you. You've got this.
She says thank you so much and that she loves you.
I love you too. Okay. Christy Harkins, after being alone 15 years, I finally dated and got dumped Sunday. Is there someone for me this coming year? I want to be loved and in love. All permission granted. Is there someone for Christy? Yes. Is that someone coming this year, darling? Yes. Was this breakup a favor to Christy? Yes. Was this person the right person for Christy to be in partnership with? This person that let her go? No. So, shitty as it is, the answer to the universe is, thank you! I have to tell you, at some point, what I'm getting intuitively, super powerfully, is something there that wasn't going to move in your favor. And I don't know what it is or what it would have been, but you'll see it in hindsight. You'll see it down the road where you're like, whoa, I got kind of, I don't know, you got saved from something. So let's see what's coming up now. It's the next 12 months that this new person will arrive. You have to get over that person, though, and make a portal, because the universe doesn't want to bring someone new while you're still stuck on someone old. So if you really want to call someone new in, you got to, move that cord. Let's see what the cards have to say about new love for you. You got the beat. You got the beat. You got the beat. Wow, that was real bad. Try sound therapy for healing. Solfeggio frequencies. What's the best love frequency in the solfeggios?
Interesting you ask, because I accidentally printed them out.
Thank you for asking.
And they're in your online classroom too, because I thought Athena asked for it and she did not. Okay, so
love it when it works out like that.
Let's see. There's one for the heart chakra. I'm trying to.
I know 528 would be good for her. That's what's coming through.
528.
But that seems to be about the cord and clearing the cord. Is that right?
That's interesting because it corresponds to the solar plexus.
Oh.
Yeah. The
Okay.
Heart chakra frequency is 639.
639.
Enables the creation of harmonious relationships by encouraging the cell to communicate with its environment. This frequency enhances understanding, tolerance, love, and communication.
528 first to clear the line, then 639 to call in the relationship.
You can find those for free on Amazon, or not on Amazon. Oh my gosh, on YouTube. I don't think you can find it on Amazon.
I don't think you're gonna find anything for free on Amazon,
except for shipping.
and even then. Okay. Yeah.
Oh, thank you, Christiana. That's very nice.
She's like right on top of that.
It was an accident.
Hi, Shonda. I'm sorry I missed you today, Shonda. I really am. My son was really sick today, which is why I was late. But I got to be like full mom mode. My son is turning 16 soon, as most of you know, and like he was super sick today and just wanted to snuggle, and I made him food before I left, and yeah, you just realize how fast that time's going by. Otherwise, I would have been here to see you. So Shonda. Let's see what's coming through for you, Shonda.
Bonnie, I think that's a nice idea. Bonnie said, I feel called to ask, can we all hold our hands up to the screen and send healing energy to Sherry?
Oh, that's beautiful. You want to come join me? We're sending you healing energy to Sherry. I'm going to use my right hand because that's my projecting. Beautiful. Your hands are your power tools. Okay, so this is for Shonda. Add play to your day. Find joy. You're on the right path. Add beauty to your life. Guys are like, she needs to laugh. You need to play. You need to indulge. You do a lot for other people, but it's time to also bring that back to yourself. You're very generous of spirit. And that gets returned to you. The guys are saying it does come back to you, but playing more would be really good for you too in your energy field. I feel like that. Thank you. Yeah, he's so sniffly. It's so sad. But I found this amazing recipe, and I made it for him, and you guys, it was delicious. And it's so simple. You cut a chicken breast if you like chicken, if you have an air fryer. You slice the chicken breast in half, and you put pesto on it, and then pepperoni, and the slices of mozzarella cheese, and then you put Cajun seasoning on top and put it in the air fryer for 20 minutes at 200. It was incredible. The pepperoni got crispy and the cheese melted, and it was really
That sounds so good.
And it was like, I already had the Cajun seasoning, so I just had to get sliced mozzarella, pepperoni, and chicken breast. Like, it was like easy to make. And the pesto I already had, so because you know Costco pesto is the best pesto, so I always have a jar of that in their fridge. It was so good.
That sounds amazing.
It was really good. The page you gotta follow is called Bored with Lunch. I'm making his camembert cheese for he puts camembert, he takes the camembert out of the package, drizzles it with truffle oil, honey, and chili flakes, and you put it in the air fryer for 10 minutes, and then you just dip your baguette in, and it's like super stringy with truffle and chili and all. I mean, it's just like, Bored with Lunch on Facebook. Amazing recipes.
My best friend's boyfriend the other day was talking about how he doesn't know what to get her for Christmas, and so
Air fryer.
he was asking me for ideas, and he had 2 ideas. One of them was the air fryer, and the other one was this jacket that he found that I don't want to be mean, but it like.
Don't buy people jackets.
It wasn't
like, in
very
general.
cute, like, to be honest. And so he was asking me for my opinion, and I was just like, I think you should go with the air fryer.
Oh, and the other recipe
please.
that I'll have to keep doing readings. The other recipe he did with the air fryer, it's Bored with Lunch. BORED with lunch. The other recipe he did, you know those little frozen breakfast sausages? My kids love those. The frozen ones.
those are good.
Okay, you put those in the air fryer for 10 minutes. And then you add a little bit of honey and Dijon mustard and stir it in the air fryer and put them back in for 10 minutes. And then they get sticky with this like honey mustard sauce on them. What?
Imagine that with maybe like the bourbon maple syrup or something that I still have to give you. Like that would be so good.
You and I haven't exchanged gifts yet.
Yeah.
I bought you something at CVS last night.
Did you? I love it. I'm excited.
I went to pick up my prescription and it wasn't ready yet, so I like walked around and I got David Grinch hat because it was tomorrow's hat day or whatever. And then I found you like, you know, in that cheesy gift aisle that like nobody, but you're gonna love it.
You know, I was thinking about that cheesy gift aisle the other day because you were talking about your nativities, and then remember the one you found where Jesus looked like an egg?
Yes.
Like a little, like a fried.
Yeah, he does look like a fried egg sometimes in those. Okay, sorry, we're like on a whole other level. I know. I usually when I cook, I'm not that hungry. But that recipe was really good. Bored with lunch. Okay. Let's see. Where am I going, Spirit? It keeps going. Go up, 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 up. Where am I going? Amanda, paz, amor. I'd love a birthday reading. Por favor. Es un placer. All permissions given. Deck of your choice. Happy birthday to you. Feliz cumpleaños. Let's see what's coming up for Amanda. Amanda. This is the card everybody wants. Money, 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 money. How about a birthday year ahead full of bucks? The guys are talking about a little bit of ease. I don't know if you've been worried about money but that's going to lighten up. May is an important month for you. Something's going to shift in May. It's also going to be something that happens in relationship in May. You're either going to have a relationship challenge or meet someone new. Doesn't mean that your current relationship, I don't know if you're in one, but it doesn't mean that it will end, but it just means something's going to happen that's going to call it into question maybe a little bit, or just make you think about love in a new way. But there's financial ease too. Say yes to things that come your way this year. Don't overthink things. The guides are saying that you overthink things. Sometimes don't do that. Sometimes we overthink ourselves out of opportunities. I don't, because my Sag moon is always like, yes, to everything, even when I shouldn't. So I don't have that problem, but everybody else in my life, you're single? Okay, then May. Somebody's coming for you. Let's see. Where am I going? Hi, Hope. Okay. So it's been a year since I've been here live. It's so good to have you here live. I'm so glad you're there. Are the kiddos there with you too? She would love a reading if called. Thank you. I'm feeling called to the deck. Hope.
Hi, Hope. It's good to see you.
It's great to see you. Happy holidays to your beautiful family. Hope. Cleanse it up, cleanse it out, clear it out, smudge yourself in your area, tidy up, throw out things you don't need or love, say no every day, release something that doesn't serve you, negativity that is around you, and any beliefs that limit you. You're good at this, though. I mean, you are. So maybe it's just an additional layer of that. There's still the guides are saying there's still something that you're holding on to. And if it feels like a lower vibration, you don't have to carry anything you don't want to. You don't. You're not, you've heard me say this a million times, you're not Costco, like you don't have shelves, you don't have to store shit for people, or, you're not an Amazon warehouse. So, poof, bye, bye. There is some layer, there's still a layer down that you have to go in the clearing process before something important gets shifted or released. Feels like you know what it is. And you might not be ready yet. It could be next year. But it'll come from within. It's not like you're not going to wake up and like with Jesus at the foot of your bed going, hope it is time to release this next level. It's not going to be anything like that. Luke, I am your father. Release the next level. And I'm really glad Jesus doesn't come and do that. You know what I mean?
It makes me think of the Crystalpedia toolbox, the little jewelry boxes. When you were like, oh, we're printing those. I thought they came from God.
Oh, you would like him to come and do that for you? Careful what you wish for, darling. I have had a very real embodied experience with Jesus, and it was great, and it was also really freaky. Very affirming, I mean, that how real Jesus can be, but holy shit. Careful what you wish for. Okay. Let's see. I'm gonna do one more individual, and then I'm going to do a collective. Yeah, well, that's true, Lauren. Let's see. Okay, Gypsy Rao. May I first have my first reading? All permissions. I need some guidance for the new year. All right, Gypsy Rao, Gypsy Rao, Gypsy Rao. Let's see what's going on for you for this brand new, beautiful year, 2023. What's coming up for Gypsy Rao? The Curiosity card. I really do like this card. Give advice only when it's been requested from you. Keep the mind of a beginner, right? Like, we don't have to know everything all the time. Be childlike in your sense of wonder, right? The guides are saying just have an open mind. This is what the guides are saying, don't let the events of the past become in your mind an automatic predictor of the future. They do say that the best predictor of future outcomes is past outcomes, right? But then, I don't know that that's always true. Like as a teacher, I had students who would fail an essay and then write a perfect A paper. So if I thought they were always going to fail just because they failed once, what kind of teacher would I be? People rise to the occasion of their life, sometimes. And I really believe in the power of human evolution and the capacity to change and evolve and grow. I really do. People have to want it. You can't want it for them. But if they want it, I think it's really powerful. Somebody's going to surprise you this year. So don't give up on... There's one or two people in your life I feel like you're kind of like... Does that make sense? It's like just... Like my therapist says, live with the question. What if, right? It's a powerful place to be. So let's do a collective. I'm going to do a collective from the Dream deck because this was your deck with your kit this month. Is it true for you? Yeah, well, live with the question. Trying to live with the answer isn't any better, especially if you're trying to come up with the answer, right? So this is a collective card for all of us, me and Alexis and Karen included, and all of you who are here. So what do we all need to know ahead of Yule, during this week of light, for the last week of 2022, which is fucking nuts, for the year ahead, for the collective. Soul shift. Really? Mic drop. Money card.
Oh.
What am I going to say?
Hey, that's funny. I'm wearing my money socks today.
Oh, really? Oh, you are?
Yeah, well,
She's
today-
legit got her money socks on.
Today was holiday sock day, and I don't have holiday socks, so I wore my little Monopoly Man money socks. They've got little dollar signs all over them. Money, money, money.
Cheers to that.
I'm happy with that.
Me too. So thank you for being here. I don't even know what to say. May it be so. And so it is. So I know it's crazy. So before I go, I want to remind you to make any changes you want to your membership. So if you're on a monthly plan, go to annual if you want to. If you're going to be there for the whole year, if you're on the annual plan, you can switch back to monthly if you want. Register for your tools because you only have until the 31st, which seems like a long time, but that's like 10 days away. So if you want your tools for Living Magic and Crystal Pedia, it's time to register. The two products, I don't normally mention products in our classes just because I figure if you want to know about products, you'd go to the website. But this is literally my favorite stone. And my team took, since Denver, hunting it down for me. This is Trifane. I posted in your group about it today too. This is yellow spodamine. Usually there's green spodamine, which is hiddenite, and pink spodamine, which is kunzite. This is golden spodamine. I wrote about it in my new book. I'm so obsessed with it. Trifane is for harmony, manifestation, and compassion and tenderness and love. It makes people snuggly to you, but it really does harmonize people, places, and things, and it's very rare, and it took us forever to hunt it down. So go get a piece of Trifane, and the price is good. And then Living Scent, the ritual preparation oil, Brooklyn and I blended this 6 months ago, and I designed this to be something that you will put on, and I love the smell of it, but it is a little medicinal, that you will put on in the morning before you wake, like right when you wake up, a little bit before, right before you go to bed, every time you open a circle, every time you take a class, every time you do anything, because it's got all of the clearing and manifesting and everything oils in the blend.
Patchouli, white sage, juniper.
Yeah, so juniper's going to ground you, patchouli is going to bring abundance and also grounding and passion and sensuality and desire, and then white sage is going to clear everything. And it's gorgeous. So, and it's all pure and barely diluted, so it's very, very strong, and that dropper will last you for a really long time. So those are at sagegoddess.com, and your code is Yule for 20-something% off, and I get to see you tomorrow night for Yule ceremony.
Yule.
Winter solstice is the longest night of the year, and we're
Yule
gonna celebrate at 6